check. There we go. Hey,
There you go.
Hey.
easy.
Wait, does this one work?
Yeah, it appears so.
Okay.
All right. How we doing, gamers? Welcome to the Tuesday Night Legacy, hosted by Spellhold Games. Oh yeah, I got it.
My name is Yonatan, and I am joined here by Maxwell, and yeah, we're about to go through 4 rounds of Legacy.
Oh yeah, easy stuff. Very excited. Always great to see some Paper Legacy being played in the great region of Southern California. And thank you for Spellhold Games for hosting this, and can't wait to see what we got for today. It looks like we have Steven playing Alex. So Alex is our resident Mississippi River gamer, and Steven tends to like playing very interesting deck lists for Legacy, what we've called the McCarty Special.
Very much the resident brewer of this shop.
Yeah, so we there's a good chance Alex is playing Mississippi River, but he also has played Stompy decks in the past. Got to get those use out of the City of Traders, right?
Yeah, no, along with myself, a very big City of Traders Fable of the Mirror Breaker fan.
Yeah, I mean, turn 1 Fable a lot of the times is good enough for Legacy standards.
Will it be good enough once Modern Horizons 3 comes
I
out?
think it's still going to be pretty good once
Yeah.
Modern Horizons 3 comes out.
Okay,
I mean,
so we're doing a
sure, you got a
dialogue.
Necrogoyf turn 1, but I got a funny little goblin.
Does that look like McCarty's on Painter?
I saw an Urza Saga,
Me
so if you saw an Urza Saga and maybe another painter piece, then there's a chance. Steven has been playing some 4-color painter in the past to some varying success, so it'll be interesting to see what he's got for today.
Yeah, I mean, plus, you and I know a thing or two about Painter. Right?
Oh yeah, we both very much enjoy playing painter in person and online. It is probably my favorite deck. So,
Looks to be a blue deck on the other side.
a blue from Alex?
Are we sure this is Alex?
Oh, it might not be Alex. Oh no, it looks like Alex. Oh no, that's Dylan. Oh my goodness.
We're so sorry.
Oh no.
This is Dylan, and Dylan is probably doing Dylan.
It looks
things.
like Control. Wait.
Is that a Swords?
I saw a Murktide. I saw an Underground Sea and a Murktide. Oh no, that's a Tundra.
Okay.
An island, Tundra.
Force of Will, Brainstorm, Ponder.
Oh, and we're seeing the Goblin Welder, the man, the myth, the legend.
Before there was Deathrite Shaman, this was the real one mana.
I mean,
Planeswalker.
yeah, the greatest 1-drop of all time. Post Urza's Legacy, and it's immediately getting plowed. The respect it deserves. Steven will be going up
Indeed.
to 21. Let's just put Dylan on 4-color control,
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
what he was on last time I played him.
I'll just say Control.
Yeah.
Or what was it? The people say online, Blue White Axe.
Oh, we just saw a currency converter into a grindstone, and Dylan's picking the fight with the grindstone. I've always been stoked whenever people force a will my grindstone.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the 1-drops in this deck, and really a lot of things that you have going on are just lightning rods,
Yeah.
right?
So it's kind of an interesting play for Steven to play out that Mox Opal so early, since he could loot it away with the currency converter, and he doesn't have the Metalcraft. So
But maybe thinking he's gonna need the mana or the artifact countdown.
we're seeing Faithless looting. Okay.
So this is definitely seems to be a more graveyard centric build of Painter compared to what we usually see, right?
So yeah, definitely. I mean,
we're gonna get a couple triggers of currency converter off of this Faithless looting. Let's see what we do with that.
I think he completely missed the currency converter triggers. It appears that he has.
Mm.
Yeah, because the both of those should be under the currency converter at the moment.
I mean, it is optional.
Yeah, but he definitely wants to put him
Yes,
on
yes.
there. Yeah, you don't have to put it under, though, but it is does look like something that Steven might have missed. It is a wacky card in that sense. Oh
Yeah.
wait, are we putting it back? Oh no, we're just adjusting.
Well, Dylan's in the middle of resolving a brainstorm in response to this Goblin Engineer.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm just saying he might have realized that the card should be under the currency converter.
I see. Okay, so Goblin Engineer gonna go searching. What are we thinking?
A Great Furnace is not what I was thinking. I was gonna say PD.
Yeah, no, I was really hoping for
me.
Dragon Engine.
Yeah, you know me, PDE. Oh, just Painter Servant. That's also a good option. He does have the combo in Yard now.
So yeah, we can set up a multi-turn line of first getting back your Grindstone and then getting back your Painter.
Yeah, so those who are unfamiliar, Phyrexian Dragon Engine is our favorite 2/2 double striker in the format.
It's our favorite. It's our favorite two-sided card where the back half does not matter in this format.
So the thing is, Phyrexian Dragon Engine reads double strike. It's 3 generic mana, double strike. When this enters the battlefield from the graveyard, you may discard your hand, draw 3 cards, and then it has Unearth for 2 red and 3. So it is with Engineer, that turns an Engineer into a pseudo 2-for-1, because even if you do answer the Engineer, you could still have a Phyrexian Dragon Engine to get back for later, and a lot of people forget about it, and then sometimes you just come in for 4.
Yeah, and also just having access to multiple copies of late game card draw is just incredibly good.
Yeah.
Considering how much other utility Engineer is adding for the deck.
Yeah, and I've been messing around with Agatha's Soul Cauldron, and you have too in the past, but putting anytime you're putting +1 counters or just adding top power to Phyrexian Dragon Engine with the new boots, it just like, it feels like a huge upgrade to the card, because instead of 4, you're swinging for 6 and then 8, and then you're like, what? This is monstrosity. Monstrosity.
But the boots, and to a lesser extent Soul Cauldron, have let Painter have a lot more burst damage, or a lot more situations where it can just kill you out of nowhere.
So it looks like Steven's got just Raw Dog to Painter into play, and now he's got Metalcraft.
So it appears we have everything for the combo in play. The only thing is that we really just need mana and time to execute it properly.
It looks like Steven is just main phasing the Grindstone into play.
Looks like it, yes.
Not any real reason to do that, in my opinion, but...
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of these super interactive matchups, like Control, typically one of the key things is really waiting for your opponent to act first,
and also that the currency converter clearly is not doing anything right now.
Yeah. No, that's very true. That Mox Opal could have also contributed towards, say, like, a protected win on the next turn if we draw.
So if Steven remembered the currency converted triggers, he could have got a treasure token and started making up for that faithless looting.
There was the Ancient Tomb.
Yeah.
Also, just Steven very low on resources right now. I think
the faithless looting really hurt him.
Faithless looting,
the thing is, looting effects are strong in monocolor decks, but you really don't want to be going down a card like you do with faithless looting. Like, Fable is the perfect compromise. Oh yeah, he's taking the Grindstone. That's smart from Dylan. And now it's really biting Steven in the butt by main phasing that Engineer.
Maybe because of the Hedge Maze, were we worried about something like an Endurance?
No, he's not showing double green right now, but
I just mean, would that have been Steven's rationale for main phasing the activation?
I'm just not too sure, honestly.
Okay, so we're good.
And it looks like the Painter's named blue, but it's going to be met by a Force of Will. Now this is where it's beatdown time.
Yep. They need to get the life totals.
Yeah, Will. Right now I'm just taking like mental note. It seems like they're 17, and Steven has not taken any damage from what I've seen.
No, I don't think so either. Actually, Steven.
It would be at 6.
Life off of
Dylan would be at 15 because of the 2 forces.
Yeah, 2 forces, and Steven should be at 21 right now due to the 1 Swords to Plowshares.
Correct. And you mean 22?
oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I'll actually try to go out there right now and see if we can get that fixed up in the post board games. But right now, Dylan is in a pretty commanding position. Yeah, that is speaking
Yeah,
of.
this is very much Dylan's game to lose. Painter, a deck known for being able to pull out wins out of seemingly nowhere, but this
Yeah.
is still going to have to be a very good sequence of draws.
Yeah, oh, and speaking of good sequence of draws, that's probably one of the better cards you could be drawing right now.
For sure.
And the thing is, like Urza Saga, it doesn't look like Dylan has a deck that has Wasteland in it, so he's probably just relying on a one of Dress Down in his main deck, or to just go ahead and remove the constructs the old-fashioned way,
which might have been one of the pitches to Force of Will. I think
Yeah.
I remember seeing one.
So
in the
Steven's going to be
hand.
going down to 15, more than likely. And Saga's going up to 2. There's no reason to tap that Ancient Tomb. Yep, keep that off to the side. Oh, he's just main phasing a construct. Interesting.
Yep. So
Hopefully
we're gonna make a big dumb idiot.
And
I
also,
mean,
this Urza Saga is going to get another Grindstone in the deck.
Yes.
So there is some good stuff going on over here.
if Dylan just doesn't draw answers, then we might just see something.
I mean,
like
with
that
one
happen.
one card in hand, it's looking kind of rough on Dylan's side. Like,
yeah, and
Steven just went from I'm losing this game to I might just win this game.
Mhm.
And it's just up to Steven to make it so that another land drop, I guess. Now, if he could be using these currency converters more effectively.
Oh yes, for sure. Is that just a Caracas in hand?
Yeah, it looks like it.
So depending on if we have a Grindstone in the deck, this could just be over.
I
next
think
turn,
there's
right?
a high likelihood that there is at least a second
Yeah,
Grindstone, because you'll see Painter lists playing anywhere from 2 to 3 main deck, and as long as Steven is playing some more interesting stuff, so as long as Steven just lets this mana. Oh, Steven, okay, he has not drawn his card for turn.
Okay, we're making another.
He's making
construct.
another construct. I wouldn't do this
Are
personally.
are we scared?
Steven has not drawn a card for turn.
We also didn't activate Engineer end of turn either.
I'm not sure. Well, there is rationale to not do that at end of
Yeah,
turn,
for
but
sure.
like just in case you draw it. But I don't understand the reason. Like, Steven literally forgot to draw a card because Saga's. He might have forgotten that it's main phase that this works, but yeah, he's literally just did not draw a card. So he's gonna.
We're still going to end up having enough mana to pull this off.
I think he's just gonna get there if there's just a Crocus in hand. This
Yeah,
is not.
no, and Dylan's gonna
Yeah.
stop.
Hey, sometimes you don't need to do everything. Like the what would it be? You don't have to necessarily draw your card if you know your opponent's dead.
Yeah. So going into sideboarding, it looks like we've got some blue cards over there that are most likely not coming in.
Bring in the Mindbreak Traps, Dylan. Bring in the Fluster Storms. I promise.
Do you think Doorkeeper Thrall is worth it? For
Oh,
Goblin
Dylan!
Engineer?
So this is something I just saw Dylan bring in a
bring
Red
the
Blast. If you're ever playing against Painter, I do not recommend bringing Red Blast, because especially if you're a blue deck, because if a Painter player knows that they're playing against a blue deck, they're probably not naming blue against you. And your blasts are going to be good. Like, their blasts are going to be good against yours. Oh yes, I'll get that fixed up. Their blasts are going to be good against yours, but your blasts are not going to be good against them.
Yes. There might be something wrong with the gamma here.
Is it still not showing up?
Oh no, it's on the screen all right, but here, just come take a look.
Gotcha. Yeah, we might just need to focus it. I wouldn't mess around. Well,
Yeah.
sorry about that, guys. We'll get the life totals fixed up after this game. But
So it looks so on the painter side. Notable tools that you gain versus control post board are moon effects primarily.
Yes, moons are going to be your best friend. Well, it depends on the control deck too, because we did see a basic plains and a basic island out of Dylan, but there's against some control decks you don't necessarily want to be bringing in moons in, like specifically blue white X control, like blue white X Stoneblade or Days Undoing,
Yes.
since those decks really like basics. But against these 4-color, 5-color control decks, moons are going to be really good. But some of those lists have adapted to start playing Fable the Mirror Breaker as a sideboard card.
Yeah, I mean that was also classic. Was it Strifopile tech when Fable came out? Just something that lets you play through Blood Moon, and not only that, right? You even can just build a good position. Under a Blood Moon with that.
Yeah, and you can't just. I am of the. Did we just see 4 Chalice of the Voids? Oh my good, he's bringing in Chalice of the Void in this matchup.
The other thing I was gonna say is that the key sideboard cards we're gonna be seeing from Dylan are all the anti-artifact package that he no doubt has there.
The Force of Vigors,
the
coming
pest
in.
Controls.
He's running pest control. That's gonna be a great one.
I don't know if he is, but that's.
Yeah,
I think in the colors.
It's a new tool that they could be using.
If there's a red blast in the sideboard, I'd be surprised if there wasn't a meltdown somewhere.
Oh well, we hadn't seen black up until this point. We saw polluted delta, but so it could very well be 4-color leaning into red.
Yeah.
So there could be meltdowns.
There could be meltdowns, and just within those colors itself, Dress Down is a really good card against this deck.
Yeah. So it's really. Dress Down's great. The experienced painter player will try to minimize their liability to artifact hate, but
especially artifact sweepers.
Yeah. So realistic, if you're hell bent on beating painter players, the best thing you can do is just kill all their things, to kill all the creatures, and then they can't really do too much.
Kill all their things, or honestly just present creatures and threats that they just don't know how to deal with.
You go under them with a troll,
maybe Murktide's not a good example.
Murktide
but
is Triumph is hard.
Triumph of St. Catherine is difficult to deal with. Cauldron Complete is hard to deal with.
I would say out of the two, the list I'm running with Dead Gones, I've been pretty all right with dealing with those bigger threats, and there's a point where I was thinking Dismember might be reasonable, because everything we can't really deal with is 5 or more, but being able to incidentally bounce a Merit Lage in your sideboard while also being able to deal with these permanents
definitely helps with some of those loam and depths matchups.
Yep, I wasn't hallucinating. We're seeing a Chalice of the Void in this deck.
And it looks
like
a
Haywire might too.
Are we on a double Urza Saga opener here?
He has 2 Chalices and 2 1-drops, and I think a Mox Opal?
Trying to get a proper view of the hand. Dylan looks like he's going to be throwing it back. I think that
I think Dylan's in a world of hurt. He's not going to see... Steven's got a big old grin on his face because he knows what he's about to do is really silly.
Do you think he's going to Spirit Guide out the Chalice?
He might. I think he might.
So I think.
I mean, that's a Grafdigger's Cage. He thumbs up. Oh man,
I think the efficacy of Chalice against these 4 or 5-color control decks really depends on if they keep a hand that really depends on cantrips to sort of sculpt properly.
So I don't think Steven realizes that Chalice is actually very good against Painter. Like, Chalice on 1 really shuts you down.
Indeed.
His hand is right now mono 1-drop. And, Painter obviously being a great job, but it looks...
I mean, not only does it look like we have a Chalice...
Just putting this Chalice out there.
This could have also been just the turn 3 Goldfish kill, right?
Yeah, who knows? This is really, really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, taking a super aggressive stance here, I kind of like it.
It's taken out 2 of his own cards. I don't think... Yeah, it does not look like Dylan cared at all about this Chalice. Well, Fable is probably one of the better draws.
So, speaking of aggressive plays, I guess provided is...
Probably just slam the Painter.
Yeah, are we going to slam the Painter? We're going to Chalice check ourselves here.
Why?
So if you're Dylan now, are we casting Fourth Airlingus for 1?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Why wouldn't you just play Painter there?
Okay.
Oh, this is the best case scenario. This is wow.
So obviously you still have to declare X equals 1, even though it's a
Yeah.
0 drop, as you do not want that prismatic ending
This is
to be countered.
oh my
but
goodness. Dylan does like I mean Steven literally threw a card into his chalice, but Dylan had no idea what he just unlocked. Like he just helped him. Steven was
Hey,
not functioning very well.
I mean, secretly, maybe just a very
He
big
should have
brained
just
move.
I don't know. Like it might just be because I'm a Painter nerd, but I feel like he should have just played that Painter into it.
Yeah, I mean,
He's floating? Okay, I was gonna say.
Also, I would have personally liked to just see maybe the turn 1 Urza Saga there, considering that you could just present a win on turn 3.
I don't like doing a Goldfish against Control because they're incentivized to keep removal against you. I actually liked how he started off with the
That's fair.
Chalice.
We did have the Monkey Blast protection as well.
I don't understand why he brought Grafdigger's Cage in though.
Are we potentially worried about Uro?
I feel like we're good against Uro.
Okay, I'm saying maybe Steven is worried about Uro.
That's fair. Okay. That is a possibility, but I mean, he hadn't seen an Uro, and he did see a Murktide. Murktide and Uro is a bit of a nombo. So I do believe Dylan does run like at least one Uro, but it might just be a one of. So
I think the last time I saw him play a deck like this, he was running an Uro off of 2 green sources.
Oof. Just 2 greens, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you need. if I get it wastelanded, so be it.
Wasteland, never heard of her.
Yeah. So this is I've never seen Painter. Well, I technically can't say that because one of the recent Painter lists that have done well was essentially a Stompy deck that also plays some Painter cards, and they ran 1 Chalice of the Void, which I don't even know is good. But now with the Triumph on board, it's getting a little rocky looking for Steven.
Yeah. Definitely, we're probably not going to be able to close the distance here with damage.
No, absolutely not.
So we're probably going to need to just scam a win using this Painter.
I think right now it'd probably be best if he just plays a Fable, but it looks like Steven's just gonna slam Painter down.
Play the Painter with 1 Pyroblast up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna force here, and then we have at least another Swords to Plowshares and a Hydroblast for protection.
Yeah, so that Hydroblast is gonna go through, kill the Painter.
Or the Painter's gonna be countered by Force of Will.
Yeah, and this is why I was saying, like, you might just want to do the Fable instead, because if you're looking to combo kill, you don't want to put your combo piece out immediately.
A very interesting sort of game in terms of how each player's resources are being kind of thrown at each other.
Yeah. I mean, like with Painter, like you can just get free wins, but it like a lot of it is, in general is just like how most of Legacy is, where you're essentially playing a mid-range control deck, and you have to evaluate the board and think about how you want to set up your game plan. Because most of the time, the fun part about Painter is what you do is you essentially trap your opponent. You're like, haha, now you've essentially activated my trap card, Yug, and now I win the game.
They have to respect your combo, and they are going to make suboptimal plays into that. And then eventually, who cares how you kill them when they've run out of steam, right?
You're like, I feel like with Painter, you're constantly trying to trick your opponent into doing something.
If they don't respect your combo, go for the combo. If they respect your combo, play Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Yeah. I mean, I've even had a situation where an Urza Saga, I had a Simian Spirit Guide in hand, 3 mana to activate off a floated mana from the Urza Saga, and I felt it in my gut. I'm like, he's got open mana. He clearly is representing a removal spell. I'm just going to let this mana fizzle off. I still have the Ancient Tomb ready. If he tries to remove it, I'll just grind him in response.
And then I was about to say, even without like the secret mana in hand, I just love those situations where you just have the mana to grindstone them up.
Yes.
And you're just waiting for the first person to flinch.
Yeah. So this position would have been incredible to have. Well, that's also an incredible draw, but this would have been an incredible position to play a painter and then have double blast backup.
Oh, for sure.
It looks like Steven's just going to get in the red zone with these constructs.
I mean these are going to be some very big boys.
Yeah. The Goblin Welder obviously threatens combo as well, and Steven can even get the boots off of this what's it called? This saga.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like he's putting it on the construct. Interesting.
Trying to preserve life total here. I guess.
I mean that to me
no,
says
no. It is.
Oh,
it
the
is
grindstone. That's not the right target. I'm sorry, but that's not the right target. Dylan, I feel like Dylan probably should have been holding that.
I think
he might have a second removal spell. That could be the only rationale.
Potentially. I believe there's also a swords in hand.
Okay, if there's a swords and yeah, it looks like it. Oh, but the construct. Oh, this might not bode too well for Dylan.
Yeah, this welder might put Steven back into this.
Yeah, to the doldrums. So it looks like Steven's up at 18 life. That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
last time
with a pair of 2/2s.
So Dylan's not taking too much damage, which is the good news. But it looks like he's got another Leyline Binding in hand. So
Leyline Binding and
I guess he's kind of going for a blowout with the Painter and the Grindstone, maybe.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I never am a fan of going after the Grindstone.
I'm genuinely almost never a fan of leaving Goblin Welder alive.
Yeah, Goblin Welder will ruin your life. That card, it is very easy to deal with, but it is
very easy to deal with, but when it is active, it is incredibly difficult to play around.
If your opponent, okay, so he's recognized that the Goblin Welder is going to ruin his life. So
okay, so we've escaped that situation as Dylan now.
Yeah.
So now we're again in a position of relative stability, and potentially we are able to also shut the door on this game with that fourth Aerolingus in hand.
Okay, so Steven is just going to make a construct, it looks like.
Saga going to pop off on Chapter 3.
Gotta make sure everyone knows. We got some 3/3s in town that are about to be 4/4s.
A double Grizzly Bear.
So I think I was gonna say in this position I wanted to get boots, but Steven might not have boots in his list right now.
I was about to ask, do we think there is a boots in deck?
With this fetch, it makes me say no, because I think right here, because even though you are taking a lot of damage and the Triumph is making up the difference, you could push more damage than Triumph can gain, and I've raced Triumphs with big old constructs before.
Yeah, the combat math with Triumph of St. Catherine becomes especially interesting when Broadside Bombardiers is also in the mix.
We have a Shadow Spear.
Okay, so that looks to be Steven's equipment of choice here.
Yeah, that's always an option. I've never been a personal fan of Shadow Spear, just because while the lifelink trample is really relevant on constructs, the bigger issue is just getting over the finish line. Haste tends to be a lot better in the deck.
Yeah, Shadow Spear, or a lot of these equipment are kind of inherently card disadvantage.
Yes.
It's not really furthering your main game plan.
Yeah.
And so the most useful situations for Shadow Spear are when the lifelink is relevant, and that also tends to be matchups where your opponent has Meltdown in the post-board games.
So the thing is, it's like the matchup where you'd want that in, the Meltdown matchup, that tends to be Delver based, and realistically speaking, at least with my configuration of the list.
Dylan cracking a fetch line end of turn, do you think we're going to go for a Mystic Sanctuary?
Probably yeah, probably. Yeah, just get another swords, put it on top of the deck, more than likely.
Yeah, I mean, Steven does technically have a blocker for this Triumph now, but
yeah.
Honestly,
but you're not going to want to.
You're not going to want to block because also just the combat.
Oh, he said you're not getting life. You're not gaining life. I actually kind of like the idea of going for swords and then going for the swing in, because if Steven decides to block, he can just swords in response and then get a blowout.
Sword's a different construct,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or Steven might also just say, or Dylan might also just say, hey, let's just get this grindstone out of play. I'm never losing to this card. And that might be his rationale.
Or rather, right, this is the only way I'm potentially losing this game.
Yeah.
So we are going to go after the construct.
Okay.
So slowly whittling down this board. Now we are left with a pair of 4/4s instead of a trio of
which
5/5s.
is still damage positive. And, like, right now... oh, well, that should shut the door.
Yeah, so this is going to give us 6 power worth of knights.
Yeah.
Human knights.
And he could also leave Triumph on blocking duty and just have one knight. Oh, yeah, he could just have one knight swing it, and then he's never losing the Monarch.
I don't actually know what life total Steven is at.
It looks really low. 4.
Yeah, so 4. So we are just going to be swinging in for the full 11 here, and going to gain 5 life back. I do not know of a sequence of draws that would let Steven get out of this, but
yeah,
we would need to get up to 8 artifacts in play to present lethal.
If that was the boots instead of Shadow Spear, if he drew a land and had like an engineer in hand,
yeah.
Or had a land and drew an engineer. Oh, that Fable just rotted in his hand. That's so unfortunate. But oh, I guess he's just gonna equip the Shadow Spear.
We're gonna have a good old fashioned race here. We're gonna.
So he's coming in for 9. He's gonna get the Monarch.
We're gonna come in
and
for 9.
And he'll go up 5 and then lose on the backswing.
And then be dead on board. Yes.
Yeah. So disappointing.
Okay, so going into game 3, good news, Steven's on the play.
Yeah. Bad news. Good news. Hopefully, Steven takes out the chalices.
Interesting news is that we didn't see any artifact hate out of Dylan this game.
He might have just not drawn it.
Yeah,
he had all the removal.
That is more than likely, but
Steven's just sending it back. It looks like.
But potentially out of respect for the rise of spell combo recently, maybe people are trimming down on their anti-artifact cards.
I've been noticing that people still have a decent amount of artifact hate, but it's in light of Moon Stompy, not necessarily Painter. So it's like we're seeing more like one of the recently well-performing lists out of Blue-Black Rescam, they've been main decking Dothies and have 4 Ratchet Bomb type effects in the sideboard.
Still decent against Urza's Saga, but definitely not where you want to be if it's specifically Painter you're worried about.
Yeah, because, having the option of your Ratchet Bomb taking up to 3 to blow up some stuff is still pretty good. But, we're, Null Rod isn't necessarily where it used to be. The card's still expensive, but as far as seeing sideboard play... I only really see, maybe one...
I think the card is great, but I think that's also just the level of respect that I have for Storm.
Yes. Oh, looks like we have Eric in the chat. Hey, Eric, hope you're doing well, buddy.
Hey, yeah.
Sorry we didn't notice that earlier. We're just so enamored by the Painter action. Yeah, it looks like I didn't see any new adjustments from Dylan, but it looks like Steven's pretty happy with his configuration, which is interesting. I think
this is kind of just interesting talk about 4/5 color control is which colors exactly you're playing, and this particular combination, so everything except black, is something that we saw a lot after Lord of the Rings came out.
Yeah.
Right? We saw these delighted halfling one-ring Uro. Yeah.
The legendary Bosch and Roll Hot Bant.
Where the thing is, I think, really ever since Eternal Weekend North America, the preferred flavor of 4-color has been everything except red, right?
Yeah, and even then 4-color has just been, not, what I've seen is 4-color is not, you're either 5-color or you're 3-color.
Yeah,
Four color is not the premier option right now.
Or you know, if you're playing 4-color, you're playing Esper with Up the Beanstalk.
Yeah, that's a thing. And the fourth color is really just for considerations for leyline binding. And
yeah, you could say the 4th color becomes free with leyline binding, but it really isn't.
It's really not.
Yeah.
It's so rough on your mana base.
But I think that just comes from the fact that leyline binding
Chalice
is absolutely
on one
not
again.
a free inclusion.
I don't. I think. Hopefully this doesn't hurt. Oh, it doesn't hurt him this much.
It looks like there is a wasteland in Dylan's deck. That looks to be the Fallout wasteland.
Oh, maybe. Well, it's not going to find a target this game. Oh, there's a Magus. Interesting.
Well, maybe this is
So maybe Steven's thinking is, hey, I'm just going to put this Chalice on one as something to do, and then weld it away when it's bad, which is an option.
Potentially.
As we see, there is plenty of 1-drops in his deck.
I think Chalice is also a consideration for out of respect of how many people play Storm at this store.
Yeah.
Also a decent card against something like Rhinos, which is also pretty popular here.
So, my mind, this is a no-brainer PDE.
Yes.
But
Mox Opal. Have we seen a Phyrexian Dragon Engine in Steven's
I don't
deck?
know. I might just tell him after this. Just to, I might buy him.
Yeah.
I might buy him a Phyrexian Dragon Engine. They're not very expensive.
I was about to suggest exactly that.
I might just grab him a Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Like.
Yeah, I mean, what are they? 40 cents?
I think they're $1.
Okay.
Yeah. For one of the best cards in the deck being that cheap.
Just absolute sleeper hit out of Bro.
They don't even realize it. No one even knows. Yeah, I wish they have a better treatment of it, but it's just, oh my goodness, thank you. Literally, Dylan, don't counter that Chalice. It's so good against him.
Okay, so we're gonna just slam a Magus here, I suppose.
It looks like it. Magus time. It's probably gonna eat a Force. Dylan does not seem Seems really ice cold.
It resolves.
Oh well,
we don't have.
We might see one of the few free games. It doesn't look like there's a Force in the deck, and it looks
just a mountain and pass.
Game might be over.
Yeah, that's just how it be sometimes.
Game might be over. I mean, like slammed. He didn't even He didn't even have backup. Just slammed a Magus and couldn't do anything.
And I mean, these are important situations for the Painter deck to put the control deck in, where what is it that I was going to say? Just you want them to utilize their mana, and then you want to sort of find an opening to hit your big haymaker.
Sorry about the round timer, guys. Yeah, it's probably 9 minutes left, but this game looks mostly over. We're gonna get the 10-turn special from Magus. And yep, we're not seeing any basics right now from Dylan. We know he had them, but currently not looking too good at the moment. We'll get the timers all fixed up for next round. And looks like Steven's assembled the combo. And I hadn't seen a Solitude up until this point, so we might, instead of the 10-round special, looks like we're only, 10-turn special, we're only doing 5, and that's a scoop. Steven takes the match. 2-1.
Alright, so, hang tight. We might see, with 9 minutes left, I don't think we're going to find another person to jump under the camera, so...
Probably not.
Hang tight. We'll see you all next round.
Yeah, we'll see you guys
for some more Legacy action.
We'll see you in a bit. There we go. Thank you for covering that.
Yeah, no,
I fucking down this. This is delicious.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Do you have more by any chance?
I almost considered packing 2 for you. I only have a ginger ale and a root beer in there.
I might.
I'm probably gonna have the root beer. Yes, I only buy zero sugar. Yeah, no, plus you're Canadian. I got you some of that Canada
diet soda.
Me too, to be honest. Like, I will just drink those things like back to back to back.
Yes, sir.
What was it? This is also a Canadian event,
Yeah.
right?
So yes, A&W is Canadian, but it was Canadian A&W and American A&W are two different entities,
I see.
but they both produce the same Coca-Cola. Well, cola.
Okay, we got Bryson in the other 2 seats. What was this, Stanley? Right?
Oh, it looks like the mic's still on.
Yes, but we are currently not. The mic is tied for this one,
We want to turn it back on. So it looks like we are. Yeah, let's just go. Yeah, we're unmuted. Yeah.
Okay, welcome back, everyone.
Doesn't look like it faded properly. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that little hiccup. Right now we have Bryson versus Stanley. So Bryson will be on his normal Sultai Beans. I believe Stanley, if I remember correctly, he plays Oops All spells. We'll know for sure
After the first turn of the game.
after the first turn, but he comes every once in a while. That's good. That's a proper title right there. No, keep it. That's perfect.
I am keeping it.
Yeah. But I believe Stanley is on Oops All spells.
Also, gotta remember the proper spelling. The exclamation mark comes after the oops.
I think you could just do oops, and it'll be good. Yeah. Oops, Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley on
But
Oops All spells.
until we see something different, that is my guesstimation.
Yeah, I think I overheard some talk about a belcher.
It could be oops that jukes into
Sideboards
belcher.
into belcher, yeah.
Yeah.
In any case, we're gonna be trying to get the game over
Let's
with.
get these.
and
Let's get a good look at these cards if we get a chance.
So these are some.
Oh, I saw a
Venser sleeves
brainstorm
right there.
I saw a brainstorm. That's not oops.
Okay. Is that a Cabal ritual?
I
as
saw
well?
a Cabal ritual. My guess is now blue black dredge. Now we're guessing. Sorry, guys. Sometimes we don't get the all the info in time, so this is what it comes up to. Oops. How's chat doing? How are we hanging right now?
Yeah. How's everyone's day been? If you were playing Legacy today, what deck would you be playing?
If I was playing Legacy today, what deck would I be playing? That's a good question. That's a good question, Stanley.
Okay, so we got the pile shuffle on both sides here.
Yeah, the like confirmed, not random shuffle. Both opponents are cheating. Call a judge.
I mean,
I'm joking.
No,
it's not mathematically.
As the resident mathematician, it is technically not random, but
Yeah.
however, at the same time, I don't think us humans are smart enough to actually be able to process that information properly.
Definitely not me.
Definitely not me either.
Definitely not me. You're a smart cookie. You're a smart cookie. Okay. Glad to see that you're doing well, Eric. Well, hopefully we can bring the Mexican food to you.
Yeah. Also, looks like Eugene would be playing Mono Red Stompy.
Mono Red Stompy. You don't say. I mean, since they obliterated the goblin archetype, I mean, actually, I feel like Eugene, you'd enjoy playing goblins more now that it's not ruined by name sticker goblin.
Wait, is that
It's
those look like multiple Cabal rituals? So my guess would be Storm here.
oh yeah,
also
that's a Cabal
Chromox.
ritual. Yeah,
That's a Chromox at the front, right?
yeah. There's Chromox. There's a Cabal ritual, and yeah, looks like from the looks of it that might
So
be
just
some
Storm.
Storm
I'm just gonna say
variant.
Storm.
Yeah.
So, not necessarily playing all the spells, but still trying to play a lot of them.
Dark ritual. It's good.
Yep. Cabal Therapy.
Cabal therapy. He's probably naming Force of Will. And he's gonna get 2.
Okay.
The old hymn to Turok.
Or is that an Undercity Informer?
Cabal ritual. Okay.
It is Oops All Spells.
It is Oops. I was right.
So it looks to be a
Wow.
Oh, is this the build that plays cantrips?
I guess so. We saw a brainstorm. I very clearly saw a brainstorm. And Cabal ritual, while it is played,
And yeah, we're gonna mill ourselves now.
yeah.
So for those uninitiated into the combo, you want to explain how this goes?
So Oops All Spells is a deck that is primarily constructed, and we'll see it right here. It is primarily constructed with MDFC lands in mind, so that it could use Balustrade Spy and Undercity Informer to mill out their entire library, so that they can mill into Narcomoebas, and then return those Narcomoebas with Dread Return to get a Thassa's Oracle. It has an alternative line of winning with Bridge from Below beats, because they'll usually run 1 or 2.
And before you finish the explanation, the game was over.
Yeah, yeah, and it's got Memory's Journey to make sure it doesn't deck itself on accident.
But yeah, Oops All Spells, very
Fast.
very fast, but also a relatively old archetype in Legacy at this point. But it definitely had a lot of life breathed into it with both the printing of Thassa's Oracle and Theros Beyond Death, and then Zendikar Rising is where we got the MDFC lands. So lands that are effectively spells on the front side.
So Zendikar Rising came out before Theros?
After.
Oh, it came out after?
It was after Ikoria, I want to say.
Wait, no. It might, yeah.
Yeah, because Theros is what came out right after Eldraine.
I started playing Magic around that block. So, like a year before. Actually, like 6 months before, because I started playing around Ixalan.
Speaking of MDFC lands, and especially the ones that you're allowed to play untapped, we're going to get a whole lot more of those in Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah.
We're actually just getting another 2 in each color. So this is probably going to be a huge shot in the arm for a deck like Oops All Spells, right?
I am very interested in playing those MDFC lands, because one thing, it's like, the MDFC lands make it so that you could play a just straight blue-black version of Oops All Spells, which I think is extremely interesting. And it looks like Stanley is playing Force of Will in his deck. We just saw Force of Will on top.
And I mean, to kind of refine Maxwell's point here, the thing about playing a more blue-heavy version is being able to support that Force of Will in your combo deck.
Yeah, Force of Will is an insanely powerful card, and when you can use it to back up your combo, that's when it gets, like, really scary.
Yeah, so one of the big reasons why those forces from Modern Horizons 1 have that on your opponent's turn clause is so that you cannot use them offensively, yeah. Yeah,
so Grief, like, has seen play in Oops All Spells and has been used as, like, the force check, and so is Cabal Therapy, but like
Thoughtseize is also what's standard in the deck. Thoughtseize and Pact of Negation are your main tools.
Yes.
Of protection.
So now that the jig is up, Bryson knows that Stanley is on Oops. The Oops player is going to try to take a much slower turn to try to really hit a critical mass of resources and punch a hole through Bryson's deck. And now Bryson is pretty much thinking to himself, I have to make sure that I don't die, and then present a fast clock to kill my opponent.
Or
because he can't give him too much time.
Can I effectively end the game by turn 2 or 3?
Because Bryson doesn't have a... he has Graveyard Hate, of course, but he doesn't have a hard, like, you lose the game card if this resolves against Oops.
Yeah. very much the most important things are going to be your Force of Wills and however many Force of Negations Bryson is playing today. The other thing to note is that these kind of blue-green control decks have typically been bad matchups for Oops All spells due to also having access to Endurance. The only thing with these Beans decks is
they don't have Endurance.
Yeah, they're really only splashing green in their blue-black control deck.
They are mainly blue-black. Yeah, like you said, a blue-black control deck. So they really excel on removal and counter magic, but against combo, like against these faster combo decks, it's really scary.
That being said, if we have a couple of these oddball one-ofs that Bug Beans usually has, such as Dress Down, Stifle, Thoughtseize, we're probably looking for those. There's a chance that Bryson is playing some amount of Surgicals in his deck as well.
Yeah, Surgical's going to be good.
Really, we're currently... There's not really much to comment on, but we are actually currently at the most important phase of this game, which is the mulligan.
Yeah, I mean, taking good mulligans is something that is very much understated in the Legacy community. I mean, like, people do say it's like you should look for better hands, but not necessarily for every matchup. But specifically against a very fast, very consistent combo deck, you need to make sure you don't die. So the mulligan is going to be your best friend for both players.
An important question to ask yourself when looking at your opening hand is, what does this do in the context of this matchup? And the number of hands that functionally don't do anything just becomes incredibly amplified in these turn 1, turn 2 matchups.
Yeah. So good news is Bryson has seen his opponent go to mulligan to 5. Bad news is this is only game 2. If this was game 3, I would be like I wouldn't say a sigh of relief, but I would be a bit happier.
So looks like Bryson is keeping here. We have looks like we have a pair of Brainstorms in there, and
Bryson may have just said, "Hey, you're gonna be looking for a slower hand. I'm just gonna keep a 7." And we'll get there, which is a reasonable stance to take, in my opinion.
Or really, a big thing with the appeal for blue decks in Legacy is just that, sometimes Brainstorm just has your ass.
Yeah, that's a.
Oh wait, family friendly stream.
No, yeah, no. This is a game for 12 and up, so we can't be swearing on here.
Yeah, that's true.
As we know, everyone here is just wee old kids.
Okay, so it looks like a Misty Rainforest and a pass from Bryson. And
it's just a pass go for the Oops player, which is pretty understandable. Like I said, they wait to get a critical mass, and it looks like Bryson also passed.
I mean, among the initial...
LED.
So, okay, yes, this looks to be the Cantrip Belcher version of this deck. So, it looks like we are not... I believe I've taken a look at these types of deck lists once or twice. You're actually using Beseech the Mirror to get your Balustrade Spy in those decks.
Okay, that's interesting.
And you're able to support things like Ponder and Brainstorm and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's an interesting take on the deck. Oops generally isn't too popular right now, so like being able to have that preconceived notion of you need to just mull for Graveyard Hate and then you're losing to a Belcher is always something beneficial to have on your side. But then again, Stanley is on 5, Bryson's on 7, and it looks from the appearance, it looks like Bryson's got a grip full of interaction. We do see a Surgical in the hand. There's a Murktide, but I don't think we saw it fetch land.
Speaking of interesting takes, what's the take on this Tropical Island from Bryson?
Oh, I'm not a big fan of altars. Personally.
I think as far as altars go, this is a very pretty one, but I definitely feel you. I think I'm often just a little bit obsessive over kind of all of my cards looking mostly the same.
Yeah, I think it is a really unfortunate. He's pretty much locked in. Oh, Bryson's not going to move.
Yeah, Bryson is just ditching his Murktides.
And
here.
It looks like Stanley's also considering mulliganing as well. Going to discard.
Is there an argument to be made here for ditching some of the instants and sorceries in our hand so that we can delve a really big Murktide on a future turn?
Well, it looks like 3 Simian Spirit Guides and 2...
a Goblin Charbelcher.
It looks
with the mana to activate.
It looks like it is time to brainstorm.
Okay, and is that...
So, if I was Bryson here, I would be brainstorming and looking either for a Force of Will or a Daze. Because a Daze completely shuts this down right now. Yeah. He makes sure that he does. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look like Bryson found anything. And there's a land. It looks like Bryson's dead.
Yeah, Dedge.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Oh, yeah. Sorry for the round, not getting the round timer, guys. But oops, it's a quick one. No need to worry about going to time.
And yeah, looks like even on a mulligan to 5, the juke gets there.
Yeah. So Bryson's considering some options. Bryson had the option to potentially surgical his own card deck to shuffle, but that's how she blows.
Yeah, looks like we had a Veil, a Leovold, a Thoughtseize.
Yeah, that Trop fetch
that
ended
Trop
up killing
not
him.
being able to fire off that Thoughtseize was unfortunate.
Yeah. Yep. That's how it goes. I mean, I think it was really unfortunate from Bryson's end that just no second land drop or force of will. That's just like I if I were Bryson, I would keep that hand too, just because having the one surgical and a brainstorm, like brainstorm usually gets you there, but sometimes
basically you want the ability to make it to turn 2, and then from there usually your deck can help you find more answers. Right?
Yeah, I don't necessarily I mean, like, Stanley feels motivated to look for slower hands. So there is a push and pull, and like he knows he has to beat a force will. So taking more reasonable 7s, like surgical being a piece of interaction, helps a lot. But I don't know. If I was Bryson, I think I would also take that hand, even though it didn't end up panning out, because most of the time it does pan out.
Should we try to find another match?
Yeah, I think we'll ask around real quick and try to get another match.
Great. So yeah, stick with us, and we'll be back in a second.
Okay, so we got Steven once again.
Oh yeah, I'll get the overlay updated.
So we're going to be seeing some more painter action. There's a decent amount of painter floating around the shop right now.
I mean, one of them are your physical cards.
Yes,
right?
I'm lending out one of my painter deck to one of the buds, one of the local.
I want to say that
local
William is
gamers.
on his usual Angel Stompy.
I saw a Swords of Fire and Ice in there.
Yes,
So-
he plays that in Angel
So
Stompy.
that might be it, yeah. And I am seeing white mana.
Yeah, it looks like a Caracas, Basic Plains, Chalice of the Void. William's chalices are going to be very good here.
So I imagine this is game 2 for them, since
Yes, so almost certainly both players have sideboarded here.
and it looks like Steven will be taking a mulligan. Oh, sorry, we didn't get the life totals fixed, guys. Let's we'll reconvene and get those sorted. I mean, like, we didn't even realize they were broken. Well, it wasn't broken. It was
Life
not
totals
very
did
visible.
not matter.
Who needs a life total when you're just dead? I guess it would have mattered game 2 because the Belcher does 54 damage.
I mean, it was a couple of turns in, so I want to say it was maybe doing like 48, 49 damage.
Yeah.
Good luck Urowing past that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're playing Uro. That's adorable. Looks like William's also taking a mulligan. So, typically, Painter has a very good matchup against Stompy decks because they access, like I was saying earlier, Chalice is good against Painter, but Painter can play through a Chalice with reasonable effectiveness. But the main thing is, Painter is also, in a sense, a Stompy deck. It can...
Yeah.
Like, I've had it where my opponent turn 1 Trinisphered, and I played Ancient Tomb Spirit Guide, play out a Fable. They look dumb for powering out a Trinisphere.
I do think that William has a lot of effective tools for fighting
Ooh,
Steven.
it looks like we're going to 5?
For fighting Steven here, we are a Stompy deck, and we are a he is playing Wasteland.
Wasteland is still really good against Painter.
And you just have to save it for the Urza Saga. And also we are playing white removal and very hard to kill threats.
Yeah. I think the benefit that William has is the fact that he does have access to white removal that is very strong against specifically Painter archetypes, because we like having our stuff go to graveyard, not exile.
Also something I've complained about while playing against him in recent times, I believe he might still be running a handful of Sanctifier and Vac in his sideboard.
Oh yes, I do believe so. I remember the last time I played against him, he was playing Sanctifier.
How do we feel about Sanctifier against the mono red deck?
I don't know. I don't think I care that much.
Having the artifact package is definitely something that lets you play around that a lot better. So from my perspective, currently as the red Stompy player, just per red. Okay, it's a 2-mana True
So
Nemesis.
I wonder if William left in his Sword of Fire and Ice against the Painter player, because the uninitiated might not know, but if Painter name's blue and you have a Sword of Fire and Ice in play, the creature you attach it to has protection from blue, and then Sword of Fire and Ice sees that the creature is blue because of Painter naming blue, and then immediately falls off.
Well, it itself is blue. Right?
Yeah. So Sword of Fire and Ice equips and then immediately falls off. And on Moto, it's really funny because it just looks like it glitched out because you spent 2 mana and nothing happened.
Yeah.
It's very good. So, yep, we got Steven on 5. This is a good looking 5. Besides the Magus, I like the Double Furies.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
This is definitely one of the mono white decks where
I wonder why he's running Windswept Teeth.
Where Fury isn't at its most effective. I want to say that he might be playing sort of a. Oh wait, what's the one?
No.
What's the angel call that lets you get stuff out of your graveyard?
I don't like the Magus here, especially into open white mana.
Yeah. Oh, great top deck for William, Leyline of the Void.
Yeah, amazing top deck, honestly. Yeah, here's the girl.
yeah, here's that thorn in the side of Painter we were talking
my
about.
queen.
Are we gonna
Stoneforge.
are we gonna go for a Cauldron here?
It looks. He's probably gonna go. Oh, it's Jitte. Yeah, this is way worse than Cauldron.
way worse than Sword of Fire and Ice too.
Yeah, well, way better than Sword of Fire and Ice.
Well, from Steven's perspective.
Yeah, so right now, Steven's not really doing anything, and like the Jitte is so good. I don't even know if you do this right here.
Right, so now we're just hellbent.
But the problem is the Jitte still comes down. He gets in for 2, but this Magus might as well just have dead on his forehead.
I mean, also, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have multiple Solitudes in hand.
Yeah, William does not care,
and he just isn't firing them off.
Yeah, William.
And wait, is that a Linvala in hand?
I didn't even see that.
Remind me, is it activated abilities of creatures or creatures and artifacts cannot be active? I think it's just creatures, right?
Oh, so William has a problem where he can't actually find.
Well, we actually do have quad Solitude in hand.
Yeah, the quad laser.
Just I just don't think we're in any rush to.
Oh wow, that's so good.
Exiled.
That's so good.
That is really good. Yeah.
That is what the top deck Steven needed, and right now William's not doing anything up until now. And this is
2/2 meet a 1/1.
Yeah, I mean, like he's gonna be able to get through, but I don't know. Maybe William will just fire off the.
Are we just gonna get another Stoneforge? Maybe?
Fire off the Solitude here. Probably, it looks like it. William's considering it for sure. Lion Sash is a good option as well.
I mean, it's not like we can get another Solitude.
So the problem William he has right now is he has too many good cards in hand. Oh, that's a great card to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget. Lauren of the Third Path, also known as Lauren who completely destroys this deck.
Yeah, especially
with the Caracas in play.
Once William hits that 4th land, I think we are just snapping off
Solitude.
He doesn't
even need to hit the 4th land. He could just Solitude the Magus and just play Third Path, untap, and then start Caracasing it.
Sure. Just you can't be bouncing it and replaying it in the same turn if you don't have the 4th land.
But here it is.
There it is. Wasteland.
Never didn't have it. I think.
So we get to.
Oh,
we're just slamming our Linvala.
I guess William's opting. Hey, we don't need to do this right now. There's nothing in here that's killing me, which is a fair point.
Maybe we're just thinking to ourselves that, one of Steven's ways of getting out of this game is with an Urza Saga, and that is currently just locked down under the Magus.
I think William was just looking for a good target rather than he might not recognize that those why am I blanking on the artifact land?
Oh, the Great Furnace.
Great Furnace is not actually a
basic mountain.
Yeah, that is a common issue that people tend to have with Great Furnace.
I mean,
especially with the retro border ones.
In my experience, sort of also having played a lot of Stompy versus Stompy games with William. Yep, we see it. We see
William. We know you're winning. we know you're winning right now, bud.
Just from having played against him numerous times, Blood Moons are really not where you want to be against this mono deck. Especially considering how much artifact mana he plays, because on top of the Chrome Moxes, he is also running, I think, a Mox Diamond or 2 in there.
He just drew a Chrome Mox. I think he's just looking to. Oh, I would.
For
the ley line, that's perfect.
Yeah, we got our Mox chat here.
Yeah, so William just does not care right now whatever Steven's doing, because
Lauren of the Third Path, importantly, with that Vigilance there.
William winning is gonna win. I think he's just gonna Solitude.
Hardcast a Solitude.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and
that's a ball game.
Quads.
I think that's what's it called? That's a case study in why you shouldn't be bringing Magus into monocolored matchups,
or potentially keeping your Pyroblasts in the Stompy matchups.
Yeah, I mean, like Steven got the really good top deck of getting rid of the Jitte with the cast into the fire. Personally, I like a Braid in this. Like I run a Braid, but cast is also a very good option.
I do like the fact that a Braid also kills Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Yes. Well, I'm still undecided whether or not a Braid comes into the matchup, but I realize now with the current configuration, I have more answers than they have threats. Which
Yeah,
is
no,
really
no,
funny.
no. I have had games on Magic Online exactly like that, where just I keep a hand that has maybe 5 removal spells in it, and just you run them out of ways to kill you.
Yeah. How are we liking the matches so far, chat? We having a good time? Oh, I always think it's so odd bringing in Leyline of the Void against Painter, because like it's good, but it lowers your overall draw quality.
Oh, I think I asked Steven earlier, and I think that Grafdigger's Cage was accidentally part of the main deck.
Why? Why is Grafdigger's Cage in there? We don't like that card.
Grafdigger's Cage and Faithless Looting.
The Faithless Looting, I almost can see an argument.
I'm just saying, you know, there is a little bit of chemistry between those two cards, right? not good chemistry,
Yeah,
but
there's something happening between those two. That's for sure. Yeah, I could like the thing is I could actually see an argument for Faithless Looting. I don't think it's
for sure
bad. I think there's better options. It's like the Brea's Apprentice issue. Like
I-
Brea's Apprentice is not a bad card in Mono Red Painter. It's just you have better cards that you could be playing over it.
if you were hypothetically more committed to something like the Wormcoil engine plan for
or
Portal
Bolas'
Phyrexia
Citadel.
plan, then Faithless Looting becomes a consideration, but I think at that point you're also probably adding things like Duretti to your deck.
Yeah. I mean the big issue right now is Steven doesn't have Dragon Engine. We've confirmed.
Was that just game 2?
Yeah, that was. Oh wait, do we have a third game?
We potentially have another game, or maybe they're just playing another one for fun. I'm not entirely certain.
I'm not certain either.
Well, we did sideboard that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that has got to be the match.
Yeah. Well, who knows? They might. Yeah, it looks like Williams reporting the score, and it's going to be 2-0 him. Hey, looks like we're on stream too. Appreciate it.
Also forgot to update the round, so...
Yes, that is in fact Jonathan and Maxwell in the booth. What's good, Jesse? How we schmoovin'? Who's supposed to play Painter tonight?
Steven!
Yeah, Steven's playing Painter. I lent out my Painter deck to James, and I heard from the rafters, oh, Goblin Engineer. So it seems like there's a lot of Painter playing. There's a lot of Painter happening tonight, and 2 of the Painter guys are down as well.
There is a lot of Goblin Union busting.
I was gonna say Goblin Tradesman.
Yeah.
The joke name was Goblin Tradesman for a while.
I guess Goblin Union busting is what happens when the two of us play decks that
aren't
Painter.
Back when we were running the Goblin Sharpshooter. No, it wasn't Sharpshooter. It was Twin Shot Sniper. That was a Goblin Archer. It better fit the Goblin theming. But
into the Legacy format in a recent memory.
Yeah. So Bomba's. I think the card is real. Obviously, the card is really good. It should go without saying. But I don't know if it's right in Painter.
I think I gave it a good try, and then from there I decided to just replace the other 56 cards with red stompy cards.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the Painter Discord kind of memes about Bomba, but I think there are people who are very much Bomba believers. And right now, the big craze in the Painter Discord, and I think you already know about this, is Wasteland. They love playing Wasteland right now.
Oh, is this the Crucible version?
Yes, it's because Callum got 2 5-0s, and Callum is one of the best Painter players of all time. So people really like Callum's deck lists, and I think Callum's a great player. He's really good at tweaking.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we're talking about Callum Smith of the Everyday Eternal podcast.
Yes. But I've played the version, and the second I played it, I'm like, yeah, I'm hitting land drops more consistently, but these Wastelands do not feel great. That was my first, I 3-2'd the league, and then I immediately went back to my own build with, Soul Cauldron, and I got 4-1, and I'm like, guys, you gotta... I know every player acts like their deck list is the truth and everything like that. But I genuinely feel like I have a very refined Painter list.
I mean, Painter as an archetype, considering how many tutors you're playing in your deck. Sorry,
No. Go ahead.
I'm looking at.
Oh, this is
Steven's cards right
Williams. This is Williams' painter deck.
Oh wait. That's Jaya Ballard,
Yeah,
right?
William likes playing. Every painter player's got to play like at least 3 bad cards in their deck. It's required.
So yeah, I was about to say, considering how many tutors you're playing, and how many ways of finding cards in your deck.
So Williams on
Painter.
4.
Painter
Soul
can be
Copper.
kind of a very expressive
Yeah.
deck, and I will say that like Painter players are among the people who use their decks the most for self-expression.
Yeah, probably. Like it's not like Delver where it's completely refined. You can there's like always at least 4 cards that can be swapped out for anything that you really want.
And the important thing as well is that the existence or absence of one card in your main deck or sideboard can completely change how you play certain matchups as Painter.
Yeah, like some Painter, especially now with the option of Painter players having the Devourer combo to be in their deck. And it looks like Williams on 4 Soul Cauldron, but no Devourer.
No, I'm pretty sure he is playing a Devourer.
Oh,
At least
okay.
I saw him play one a couple
Okay,
weeks
so
ago.
he has the Devourer combo in the deck. You can't be 100% certain what a player is playing. Some play Mindbreak Trap, some play Thorn of Amethyst, some even play Trinisphere.
Me.
Yeah, you love your 3-ball. But Painter can send a lot of people for loops. I've even seen a Painter deck splash green for Pick Your Poison.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, you beat me in this. Like, your Painter deck is better in the mirror than my Painter deck.
I think that's a card that we've seen make less of a splash in Legacy than we thought it would.
I've been saying this for a while. I'm like, Pick Your Poison, while I thought it was a good card, I don't think it's at the same power level for Legacy, just because sorcery speed is too much of a downside.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for a while, it was the most played sideboard card in Modern.
Yeah, and I think like that just kind of like shows the huge differences of Modern versus Legacy.
Yeah, people talk all the time about how kind of these supplemental sets are making Modern and Legacy into very similar formats, but it really is those few or maybe not those few, but it is some of those cards that you only get in Legacy that really change the texture of that format.
So one comment someone made about Modern is that they're trying to add all of these cool cards that you like to see in Legacy that are really good in Legacy, but the problem is it's not making Modern Legacy-like. It's just making Modern bad Legacy. So thank God we're playing good Legacy, right, guys?
good Legacy until MH3 comes out.
I think MH3 is going to be good for Legacy.
I was about to say, if some of the denizens of Reddit are to be believed, the sky is going to be falling when Modern Horizons 3 comes
I mean,
out.
the sky is always falling, but it's just how we want to crash land, really. That's the option.
Yeah, a good chance a card or two eats a ban within the first few months of the format.
It's going to be... My money's on Necrodom. I don't think any card is more likely to get banned out of MH3 besides Necrodom, but that's just my shot in the dark.
Hey chat, sound off if there's any specific cards from MH3 that you're excited for. Maybe we have some green stompy players out here really wanting to play 6.
Would it be 6? I feel like you'd want to just be playing the new Grist.
Oh yeah, that
Even
one's pretty good
it wouldn't
too.
be working as well in a stompy shell, but like if you're green, you're definitely gonna be interested in playing Grist.
Yeah, I know also some depths players are going to be eating good with White of the Reliquary.
Oh yes sir, yes sir. Yeah, White is
actually White of the Reliquary has a good chance at bringing back an archetype that I think we saw around the time MH1 came out, which is Hogak Depths.
Oh yeah, well it's kind of not Hogak Depths. Hogak has been appearing here and there.
Yeah. But shortly after MH1 came out, Hogak Depths was a very interesting hybrid deck that was on Magic Online. Yeah.
Okay, so I only started playing Paper around when MH2 came out, and somehow I winded myself up into playing the quote unquote dead format.
But I mean, being in academia myself, it's like, every university is gonna have a classics department, and every Magic community is gonna have a legacy sub-community.
Yeah, of course. And the thing is, the legacy community is going to stick around a little bit more than the modern players. Modern, like, is one of the formats that I find that when I do play, that has the most rotation of just, like, players. Like,
Yeah, and I think also with the frequency that we've been seeing bans in Modern, Wizards isn't giving people a whole lot of time to necessarily become good at playing certain decks in Modern.
yeah. Or, like, problem solve.
Yeah, we're not being given enough time to solve problems. Things just get banned, and then
Hashtag unban Fury, baby. And Beans, honestly. I think both those cards were premature.
Outburst and...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Legacy operates at a different, like, pace where it's like, Ragavan was pretty obvious that it needed a ban, and it kind of came a little bit shorter than when it should have came sooner. But Expressive Iteration was kind of a card that was just kind of sleeping under the surface, and it didn't take. I think people started recognizing it. Expressive Iteration was ban worthy about 4 to 5 months cycle. It's like, oh, do we ban Murktide? Oh, do we ban DRC? And then they're like, there's one thing that always seems to happen. I should be beating the late game of Delver, but then they just Sanctuary Expressive Iteration on top of the deck, and then I lose. And then everyone realized it.
To me, the funniest part about that story is that Expressive Iteration got printed several months before Modern Horizons 2.
It was seen play in the Delver shell, for sure, but like...
But definitely their threats didn't get supercharged until Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah, and DRC being like just a strong, the premier one-drop.
Yeah,
to beat down your opponent's face.
Maybe this is just us soapboxing, but I think that card made more of a difference for the deck than Murktide Regent did.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I'm not, at least from like a painter perspective, I'm never afraid of Murktide. I'm always afraid of Darcy, and that's just because it's slightly more difficult to answer.
I mean the answers. The answers to Murktide, it's easier to trade up on mana with it, where, at the end of the day, DRC is still a one-drop, and so it's like, okay, you bolt it, and
there's
then
so
you're even
many
on
times
mana,
where you have to pitch Fury.
Yeah.
You have to pitch cast Fury and kill one Darcy because you will lose otherwise. Because the Darcy fuels the Murktide, and if you didn't have, like, if you're getting clocked too fast, you can't.
And also, each time it swings in, that's one less lightning bolt that they need to burn you out.
Yeah. But it's so interesting that it took so long for Legacy
Iteration.
Yeah, for everyone to dial in on EI, and I feel like we're having similar conversation about Scam, but we're not having the same sort of dial in where people are like, oh, it's Grief, ban Grief. Oh, it's Bowmasters, ban Bowmasters. I'm of the opinion, like, if I were to see a card to get banned, I think Bowmasters would probably be the ban, but I don't think either card should get banned.
Yeah, I like there being more checks and balances for blue decks and for the brainstorms and ponders of this world. Because at the end of the day, right, okay, if from the perspective of, say, Painter, it's good against your small creatures, but, it really is just a creature that's a 2-for-1, right?
Yeah.
Where the things like those are kind of relatively abundant.
Yeah.
Or those have existed for a really long time. But then you look at other decks like Depths or Lands, and they really couldn't care less about Bowmasters. So it's not necessarily free to be including that card in.
Yeah, there's good play within the option of deck building for Bowmasters, and right now, I think I mentioned this earlier. Blue-Black Scam or Rescam is not playing Bowmasters. The current challenge winning list has 4 Dothy's main, so we've gone full circle with the deck where the whole point to be playing it was that you're a Reanimator and you get over the finish line with Bowmasters. But now there's so much Reanimator, we're not even playing the Bowmasters. We're playing the Dothy, baby. Who needs something that dies to Bowmasters?
Just maxing out on the 3/2 with evasion, right?
Mm. Yeah. Jesse's in chat. He's saying he was playing 4 Dothy. He did that to screw the mirror. I mean, that's a good option. Like, if you know you're going into a challenge, and 14% of the field is going to be playing the same deck as you, and the deck has a high win percentage. When you're playing the mirror, It's pretty much whoever gets to reanimate first, or grief scam first.
So, kind of just to play devil's advocate here, since Jesse is mentioning that Rescam needs something banned, is there an argument to be made for banning Troll of Khazad-dûm?
I think if Troll gets banned, I don't think it alleviates any of the pressures that people are feeling. I think my opinion is people want Grief banned because Grief is not a fun card to play against.
Oh yeah, no, getting double griefed on the first turn of the game.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing a deck that
Troll ban. No, ban the 6/5. It's gonna be totally fine, says the Painter player. But I think like Bowmasters, even though I think there's some interesting play to it, and it does interesting checks while not always being good. Like you don't always want Bowmasters in your hand, like you said with against lands. You feel like you just lost the game when you have 2 Bowmasters in hand.
So I mean, if you're going to ban one of the elementals, if you're going to ban something out of Rescam, 100% it's going to be Grief.
Really?
Or at least if you're going to ban one of the elementals, right?
Oh, well, if you're already banning one of the elementals, then yeah. But I just don't think banning cards for them being unfun is necessarily a good metric, especially for Legacy.
It's not compelling enough of a reason because, well, by that token, shouldn't we be banning Counterbalance, Blood Moon, Chalice of the Void?
Yeah, Days would have been banned like a century ago if we're banning stuff based on fun factor. And same thing with like play patterns that are uninspired. So the thing is, it's like play Delver, pass. You play a Lightning Bolt to answer the Delver. I Daze a Lightning Bolt. Like obviously that there was no thought process happening between there. Now, when it comes to playing around Days, there's a little bit of give and go, and that's the same thing with playing around. Like there's decks that play around Grief very well.
Yeah.
And like, but the problem is there's not a really good way to play around Grief besides maybe brainstorming cards around.
I'm not really super tapped into what the Legacy metagame looks like at the moment, but I think you need a very compelling reason to not be playing either Grief Reanimate, Ancient Tomb Fable of the Mirror Breaker, or Mox Diamond Loam, right?
So, you know what's very surprising? Currently, Lands Metashare is doing terrible.
Interesting.
I don't know why. But right now...
So would we say the third pillar is Dark Ritual decks, then?
Yeah, Combo's doing... I think what's happening... No, it just made me realize Combo's doing really well, because the wheel decks are completely obliterating all these lands and depths decks. Because they just kind of show up, and then you say, Lion's Eye Diamond, Echo of Eons, and they say, Arrivederci, I don't have a hand. My hand is now a bad one.
Just speaking of being able to properly leverage the mulligan, how do we feel about Lion's Eye Diamond, Echo of Aeons?
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, the thing is that's another unfun play pattern that hasn't been, like, quoted as bannable.
I will say that if we do see a certain dominance from spell-based combo, Echo of Aeons is the type of card I could see ending up on the chopping block. We're just not anywhere close to that yet.
So the thing is, the wheel deck, the Echo Storm deck, actually has an insanely high win percentage. I played a bit of leagues with it, and I was really impressed with how well the deck is. But the problem is, the deck is actually pretty difficult to pilot. And
I can imagine, especially considering that you're not really playing cantrips.
It's really good, but it's also tough. And so I think the reason why it hasn't been adopted more is just because it's not as easy as just, hey, pick up Entomb, Reanimate, Force of Will.
Or especially on Magic Online, I mean, I don't want to call this easy, but it's not as easy as Dark Ritual Doomsday, open up this tab in Google Chrome with a spreadsheet telling me what pile to make.
Oh, Jesse's saying that's all Storm decks. Yeah, I don't think Storm is necessarily an easy archetype to play. I mean, there's some times where it's like, yeah, you just turn one here, and like easy peasy lemon squeezy. But like people that watch the Epic Storm know like there's a lot of thought that you have to put into putting together a kill, cobbling together a kill.
Yeah,
against a lot of decks.
Ever since the ban of Gitaxian Probe, the ability to suss out what your opponent has in their hand has been a much more important skill.
Yeah,
for Storm players.
I mean, you still have like Thoughtseize-esque effects, and the Storm deck, like the Wheel deck, has it even more Thoughtseize effects than stuff like the Epic Storm, and yeah, it's just it's not an easy archetype to play, and it's also very expensive in paper. So that's why like there's two combinations that are working against. Oh, it looks like time in the round is happening. So
we should be moving to the next round very soon.
Yeah,
so, we'll be right back with you.
Yeah, we'll come right back. Thanks for listening to us yap for a bit. Sorry about the technical difficulty, guys. We just fixed it, and thanks for the heads up, everyone.
Yeah, is everything
Oh, welcome
looking
to the
okay
stream,
now?
Ben.
Yeah, and let's get that timer started, too.
Yeah, so right now, James is actually playing my painter deck. So I'm glad to see that it's doing well and holding up for him. And Alan's probably on Delver. Oh,
Yeah,
Delver, yeah.
Rock Delver, yeah. Also, just, I gotta say, beautiful Time Twister playmat there.
Yes. Good, definitely. Alan's got good taste, that's for sure. And probably meaning a Bolt. Oh, it's just going to meet a Delver. So we got 1-1 standoff.
Yeah. Maybe we have the artifact into Goblin Engineer here.
So I see an Urza Saga, so that'll probably be the next play. I can't see what other cards are.
There's a chance we don't want to play.
He might be jamming a Fable here, or Engineer playing around Days.
Yeah,
Engineer playing around Days.
I don't think we want to play into Days here.
So I thought I saw a painter. This Engineer is probably getting Phyrexian Dragon Engine.
If we have an artifact in hand, maybe there is an argument for getting Chaos Defiler here.
If there's an artifact in hand, sure. But I didn't see one. Oh, it looks like he has an artifact in hand. So if that's the case,
or we are really certain that this Goblin Walder is not dying.
Yeah. So this play could be interesting. If he's got a Lotus Petal and he sandbagged it, that could be an interesting.
Looks like we passed the turn.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Delver, as it is wont to do, is going to fail to flip.
Yeah, Delver loves failing to flip. That's his favorite thing to do, in fact.
Kind of the main reason why we said that DRC was so huge for the deck is that Delver has occasionally had trouble keeping up with the times.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, Delver is blue count consideration at this point.
No. I mean,
and also doesn't get hit by Graveyard Hate.
It is still one of the strongest one drops in these colors. It's especially if you're not playing black, right?
So I'm not sure if entombing for Chaos Defiler is necessarily right, because now
Dragon Engine isn't in hand, is it?
No. Oh, but he does have a Soul Cauldron. That makes way more sense.
Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. This is gonna be exquisite. If you will.
So he's going to get the Soul Cauldron, Kablamo, that's out there.
Going down to 16 life.
Yeah, and now he'll be able to turn his Engineer into a Welder. So it's really funny because James was asking me questions about the deck, and he's like, "Why Soul Cauldron?" And I'm like, "It's mostly there for I told him it's mostly there for Graveyard Hate, but sometimes it can become a Welder."
Yeah,
and that's really good when it can become a Welder.
What was it? It's like promoting a pawn in chess. Right?
Yeah,
you get to just say, "Okay, you're a Welder now."
Yes, it's very good promotion. I don't think he immediately turns this Engineer into he's just putting another Engineer into play. Not playing around Days. He says you don't have it, and it looks like there's a Sekensen and a Fury in hand, and there's the Days, which it's fine. So Delver does not flip. It looks like. Will we see a shuffle? And we will.
Are we potentially throwing our Cauldron under the bus here to get a Defiler back?
So now, Goblin, he's just gonna go ahead and weld it out.
We're throwing the Cauldron under the bus here.
So this notably is no longer a Welder.
Yeah, it's just a 2/3.
Yeah.
But maybe a 2/3 and a 5/4 trample is all we need right now.
Yeah. I mean, just the stat line, just the 2-for-1 value, Alan's really far behind.
Yeah, especially, I don't know if Alan is on any or how many copies of Unholy Heat here, so very hard to get this thing off the board in Alan's colors.
Yeah. I
guess you could Brazen Borrower it.
Yeah, you could Brazen Borrower it. It wouldn't trigger the Chaos Defiler, notably, but
remind me, since these are your cards, are you playing black sources in your deck?
No, there's no need to play Badlands. I'm just playing 8 mountains and a 9th Sekensen for the 9th mountain because I
do not have enough matching
mountains. I
mountains.
don't have the same invasion foil mountain. I need to grab one more of those bad boys. But yeah, getting a lot of foil retro, like old border mountains is not the easiest, but hey, we're probably going to see a Murktide here, I want to assume. I didn't get a good look at Alan's hand, but I'd say James is in a pretty commanding position.
Actually, maybe I got a little bit ahead of myself, and this isn't Rug, but just straight blue-red.
I mean, most decks, I think this is Rug with, like,
Rug
with a, like, quotation mark around the G.
Yeah.
Yep, Murktide rejump.
Looks like a murky boy.
And you know what? It's going to be pretty easy to deal with, because all you have to do is weld away the Chaos Defiler. Or just draw a Red Blast.
Or offer the trade.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey! Remember how I said just draw a Red Blast? Sometimes it's just that easy.
So we see a Sokenzen for turn, and then most likely gonna fire off this Red Blast on Murktide.
Oh, he's just gonna weld? Oh, no, I don't think you even need to.
Did we take up the Urza Saga? Yes,
oh, he is gonna go ahead and just weld.
No, we're just getting in there.
Oh, gotcha.
We're just getting in the red zone.
That's
here.
interesting. I think this would just be a...
Honestly, I kind of like offering the trade with the Defiler. But...
Okay. So triggers, kills the Murktide, keep cards in hand. I see that.
But I guess importantly, let's see if James remembers that this is not a Goblin Wall.
I think he does know that, but I'm not sure if that's necessary. Like, maybe he's just cashing out. He's taking his 2-for-1 where he can take it.
Yeah.
And,
or in this case, really, it was like a 3-for-0 or a 2-for-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. It looks like Alan's got mono land tribal in his hand.
Yeah, I see a couple of fetch lands, another Volk.
Does not look like he's in a good spot. Spell Pierce at a daze. That's what I saw.
Okay.
So these constructs should go coast to coast.
So here, currently having done the most damage to players this game is this ancient tomb.
One thing I also forget to do is eat like the graveyard on the end step. He probably should have eaten a little bit of that Murktide.
Yeah.
Taken a bite out of that. And no, Soul Guide's not necessary. You're probably just getting Grindstone or Boots here. And I think Boots is probably the best pick. Because you're not anywhere close to the combo, and you could make a hasty construct, which is always ideal.
And also, if you're...
he's just going to get the Grindstone.
Yeah.
I think maybe James' rationale is, hey, I'm just winning on board, no need to rush it.
Yeah. Maybe I just need another piece of cardboard to make my constructs bigger.
Yeah.
Or I don't necessarily want to tap that very.
He did draw a welder. He did draw a welder. No pain, no gain. That's my motto when it comes to Painter. And he's just gonna get in the red zone.
No.
He's holding up. Why is he holding up the? Maybe he has a Simian Spear Guide, but I don't see a reason to hold up the Engineer and not get in.
Yeah, I don't think there's any flash creatures to be worried about. Maybe we are still under.
Those are some good cards.
Maybe we still are under the impression that this is a Goblin Walder.
Oh, he might. Yeah, he might think that's the case.
Yeah, so we might have to go do a bit of a judge call if we try to get a Chaos Defiler back here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we just sought the beast and we got
the nuts off the beast.
A lightning bolt and everyone's least favorite 3/3 human shaman.
Well, it's not going to be a 3/3 for very long.
Oh wait, it is currently a 1/1. Everyone's least favorite 1/1 human shaman.
Well, and also these are 4/4s at the moment because the cauldron. So the bolt really only answers the engineer.
Which not even, because you can cauldron something.
Because you can just take that Murktide out from under him.
Yeah.
Or the Chaos Defiler. There's options for James. One thing I've always asked players to do, I want players to have their graveyards out in front, because it is actually difficult in paper.
Yeah.
And you are technically allowed to have your graveyard behind the deck, but I always feel like it's a lot tougher to see it as your opponent. And you might be doing that, like, there might be some purposeful use of that or not. I always just ask them, like, can you put the graveyard out to the front, please?
I think mine typically goes next to my deck.
That works too. Okay, so I think Ellen Is Alan just going to send the bolts to the engineer, or is he going to send it face? What will Alan do? So Alan's taking a good long time to think about this.
That's the thing. You did mention how Delver can often have these really straightforward play patterns. However, there are really these situations where you have access to a couple of mana and you have a full grip of cards and you have a lot of options for how to sequence things and what to play.
Yes, that's a main benefit of it. Oh, yep, he's just going straight to the dome. And, I mean, like, I feel like that is pretty straightforward. It's more or less, is Alan going to walk into a trap?
Yeah.
That's the main concern I have. And he's going to eat something.
Yeah, we're going to eat something, but good news for James is that there is no mana up from Alan here.
Yeah. So where is he putting the counter? Okay, onto the construct. That's fair.
So it looks to still be a 1/1 over there, and so Pren targets for being kind of eaten up by a Fury, right?
Yeah.
And then might just be lethal.
So if he were to Fury right here, yeah, just Fury pitch a Simian Spirit Guide.
And, we have the Pyroblast up.
And he could just do 1/3. Pyroblast is up. So this Questing Druid's not going to get bigger. And days to build.
Yeah, so we want to do a bit of surveilling. We want to make that Questing Druid a little bit bigger. Questing Druid still not... Dragon's Earth Traveler still just a 1/1, and yeah, we clear the board. And
there's game
with the team. Yeah,
there's game.
So if you're on the painter side here, what sideboard cards are you looking at on your end, and what are you trying to watch out for on the Delver side?
I've told James this. The sideboard, you just bring in removal. You have more. So we have my exact 75 on this since it's my deck. That's crazy. But so the build that Alan is currently James is currently on has this for the sideboard: 2 Fairy Macabres, 2 Thorns, 1 Pithy Needle, 2 Dead Gons, 1 Red Elemental Blast, 2 Abrades, 3 Blood Moons, 2 Furies. So in this matchup, you're gonna go for it.
Yeah, if I can attempt to guess what you would do here. In your spot, I think I'm definitely bringing in... I am bringing in the 6th Blast for sure, and the 2 Dadgons.
Yep.
I'm also going up to the full 4 or the 3 Furies, I think, is
correct.
One main deck.
Yeah, we don't have 4 in this build.
So we're just maxing out on Furies. We're potentially also bringing the Abrades in, but probably not.
So
if I were explicitly worried about Null Rod, that is something I would consider. But I think we're more worried about things like Meltdown from one side.
So I have kind of been a fan of at least one Abrade, because I've seen up to 2 Null Rods from Delver players, Grafdigger's Cage. So they are bringing in and funniest thing, I played against a Delver player in one of the challenges, and they brought in the Wombo combo package of Null Rod and Licensers. So
I can kind of see the synergy between those two.
Yeah. So I'm of the opinion, I like to shave a painter in the matchup. I like to shave a Mopal. I think Chaos Defiler is a little too tough to get going in this matchup. You're really looking for card quality.
If you had more reasonable ways to hardcast Chaos Defiler, there is an argument for keeping it in.
I think I might trim down 2 painter, 1 grindstone. Even though
I've done that against Delver. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
There have also been times where I've gone down on Fables against Delver, just because I feel like you have such inevitability in the matchup that just getting there with Saga beats or with just the painter grindstone combo is going to be good enough.
So that maps out pretty well. Cutting Chaos Defiler, 2 painters, 1 grindstone, a Mox Opal. You probably could shave a 1. I think Fable's good in the matchup. Lava Spur Boots. Lava Spur Boots is kind of a tough call because you kind of don't want to expose yourself too hard, but Lava Spur Boots is also good against the removal.
Yeah, and at a certain point, how many Saga bullets are we actually taking out of the deck?
You don't want to cut the Soul Cauldrons because it does eat up on their yard a bit.
Yeah.
So Yeah, maybe the braid doesn't make sense.
Hi, Landon.
Hey, how we doing? But maybe Red Blast, not on the draw, but on the play. Um, but yeah, you just mainly want to get rid of their stuff.
Right. Now, from Alan's perspective here, I think there are two key types of cards in his sideboard, and these are going to be however many meltdowns he's playing and however many blue blasts he's playing.
And also surgicals. They like bringing in surgical. That is something you always have to keep in mind playing Painter into. I wish this was standard. If they played Painter Grindstone in standard, I'd be the number one standard player.
One of those can currently be opened up in standard packs. It is sadly
oh yeah,
not
that
legal.
is true.
It is
you
sadly
could
not legal.
We could be playing Grindstone in a draft format. In a draft or limited format. Would you play Grindstone in your draft limited deck, though? It kind of is good.
It depends on the limited format. I am more inclined to think about that card in sealed than I am in draft.
Yeah.
Just because sealed ends up being this more scrappy, grindy format.
Yeah. Landon's with me. It's like, just realize the deck sizes. Like, because you could naturally grind out your opponent kind of easily.
That being said, draft formats usually tend to be a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
So unless you have other mill that's supporting it...
Too bad there's no ensnaring bridge in that. You just...
I don't know why I just took that question at face value, but
yeah,
it's fair as fair.
Okay, so Alan is more than likely on the play.
I will say, Grindstone very good in pack wars.
James is realizing how dirty my sleeves are, and he's cleaning them up for me. Appreciate it, buddy.
This is why we don't buy white sleeves, right?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter what sleeves you buy. If you got such sweaty, greasy gamer hands like me, it could be the cleanest sleeves on the planet. I'm gonna ruin them.
Okay, so we're gonna see a Misty Rainforest, and it looks like a pass from Alan. Mountain Go.
Ah, yes, just good fair magic. Good.
So if we are hypothetically going to just be playing Draw Go for a couple of turns here, who do you think that ultimately favors?
Painter. Absolutely.
I agree with you.
It's not like, so the thing is, I think I said this earlier, Painter is a mid-range control deck that sometimes combos. and the thing is, Painter can really adjust. It's surprising how much it can adjust its strategy for being a mono red deck.
I mean, I would say it is more of a true mid-range deck. It just, with the current texture of Legacy, you find yourself in the control seat a lot more often.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement. But the thing is, the reason why I say control is because it does generally want to go long.
Yes.
But it is a dog to spell-based combo, and that is where it really suffers. So, right now, if I were James, I would assume my opponent has like a Murktide and maybe, just not even looking at his hand, a Murktide and like Meltdown or Surgical. And have we got a good look at the hand yet?
No. To answer your question, we're in California right now.
Yeah, so Pacific Standard Time. So it's a nice 9:50 p.m. over here. And it looks like we're having more draw go action and playing around days, taking 2 damage for the pleasure.
Actually, I think we might even be playing around Force of Will or Hydroblast with trying to keep a red up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're playing around Hydroblast, you're playing around days, and it looks like Alan does have the Hydro, but Alan's just going to fire it off. We're going to see the Pyro get fired off in response. I think you do want a Pyro back.
So you did mention the surgicals from Rug Delver. How worried are you of those types of effects from when you're playing Painter?
The thing is, you can kind of sniff it out if your opponent's not really doing much and they play surgical in the deck.
If they've just never gone below 2 or 3 cards in hand.
Yeah.
If there's just something that's always been
sometimes
in
you can assume it's like a Force of Will if you haven't cast a spell in a while, like it's Force dead card, couple dead cards, but usually you can sniff it out. This is why combo is almost the last thing you go for. If I don't care about comboing, I'll put a Painter out.
Combo, however, on the other side, kind of on the other side of the
Oh,
spectrum.
this is really interesting.
We
he
are going
entombed for a
Cauldron.
Soul Cauldron.
Yeah.
Now, for me, with this mana you'd show, I think like Dragon Engine is just the obvious pick.
So, how out of all of the Goblin Engineers that have been played tonight, how many times have we come to the conclusion that we would get Dragon Engine with
I
it?
think almost every time.
It is every single time.
Has it been every single time?
I think we are 4 for 4 here.
Oh man, yeah. Someone's got something like I mean, like James is at the 3-0 table.
Someone might have a bit of an addiction to Phyrexian Dragon Engine here.
It's just so good.
Yeah. I mean, me too, but
it's just so good. Why wouldn't you want to draw 3 cards?
It likes to live in the graveyard.
Yeah,
if
it's a pseudo 2-for-1.
If you have a Mishra, you can meld it with it.
Oh yeah, I forgot the old Mishra argument. So
what was it? That is like also itself just an artifact from when they tried to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion cards in the returning Innistrad block,
we just drew our first Fable.
Are we going to see our first Fable played?
I think you answer the I was going to say I think you answer the Darcy first, but clearly James disagrees. He says, "Let's get this bad boy going."
So we are 1 card type away from Delirium, right? We either need to put a creature or a sorcery in our graveyard.
So James has tapped this tomb twice, so you should be at 16 life. And it looks like the Fable's going through. It's going to be going the distance.
I doubt that. I doubt that this Goblin Shaman is going to survive, but given that the Engineer has stuck around, I could very well eat my words here.
I'm more inclined to say the Engineer will go before the before the Goblin Shaman, because mana's not a choke point, and Alan recognizes this with this Wasteland hanging out. He's like, I want this for Saga. Ancient Tomb's fine.
But it looks like, James very cleverly playing around Days thus far.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits for Painter. Like, you have Ancient Tombs in your deck, and you really can have an option to play around Days. Sometimes you don't, but
the only thing is that if you decide to play around Days, you do have to continue to respect it, because if you are playing around it, then they're almost guaranteed to have it, right?
Not necessarily, because now that Alan's brainstorming, he could be putting back some Dazes, and we'll figure out what he wants to do as soon as he fires off this Wasteland. Yeah. Because if he fires off the Wasteland at the Ancient Tomb, that means he wants him to play around Days. That is your opponent signaling to you, hey, I got Days in hand. Please play into it, opponent. Thanks. Would you like to play into my Days?
I know Maxwell used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but neither of us do.
Yeah, no, I played. I would have played around GOAT format era, and also play as a stupid kid. So mid-ass decks. That's a second swear for today. Gonna put 25 cents in the swear jar.
We lost our PG rating now.
Oh yeah, we're going up to 13. Yeah.
Or is that one only about F-bombs? I forgot.
You can say one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your one of. You got a vintage restricted list for F-bombs.
F-bombs restricted in PG-13 format.
Some cutting-edge legacy commentary right here. Okay.
Please, we're here every other week.
As his brainstorm's resolving, we'll just continue to crack jokes. I feel like that's the benefit as a Painter player. You have so much time in between rounds that you could probably realistically double or triple Q in a Moto League and probably be fine, be just as competent.
Well, I mean, with the whole league system, maybe. Well, you are just playing those at your own convenience.
Yes,
right?
Of course. But yeah, there's Painter makes game actions, and then they don't make game actions, and then it is very stark in between. That being 11, 15, is pretty bad. Yeah, I would agree. I knew the rules. I knew how to play. I could play Yu-Gi-Oh! At Toys R Us events and do reasonably well. So I knew enough about Yu-Gi-Oh! To be good enough to beat the other 7-year-olds.
What was it? You you would come with like your mech deck where it was like X robot, Y
No.
robot, or whatever.
No.
Wasn't that a thing?
I liked playing Prison. There was a Prison deck, and I enjoyed playing it. And once I found Ensnaring Bridge as a card in Magic, I'm like, let's go! And looks like we're going to do some looting with the Fable. I'm always... Oh, that's why we didn't entomb for PDE. It was in the hand the whole time.
This... the classic.
Yes. Yeah, I think James made the right call if that's the case, because I actually don't like having putting artifacts in the yard at this point is card advantage.
Yeah.
It looks like we have a Dead Gone, a Blast, and a Lightning Bolt in hand.
This game certainly isn't over, but I will say that James is most likely in a commanding lead here.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that Alan let the Saga tick up to 1.
Yeah, this is kind of a fun interaction where you can respond to the Chapter 1 trigger, and then it never learns how to make mana.
Yeah, so if I were Alan, I'd feel bad in this spot. I think James is way ahead.
Is there a chance that we maybe think that we need the mana off of that Wasteland?
I don't see why you would want to. Like, Delver's top end tops out at 2. I feel like you have enough to do, like... Looking at the texture of his hand, it looks like Murktide, Force of Will, Delver, and a DRC.
I guess it's like maybe if we wanted to like ponder into Brainstorm, into Hydroblast, into Meltdown.
And right now James has 2 of the 3 threats answered already. So main phasing the Wasteland. Maybe there's a chance Alan just wanted more information, which is completely normal.
Yeah.
Darcy, that's going to eat a Lightning Bolt. And it looks like Murktide's coming down. That's going to eat a Pyroblast.
I know it doesn't typically matter, but do you tend to prefer to Pyroblast it on the stack or in play?
If there's open mana, I will wait to draw a card. But in this spot, it's completely reasonable to do it on the stack.
I think it's kind of a wash, which is better. The situations where one is better than the other are incredible corner cases.
Obviously, we know what's in both players' hands. Alan should force us, and Alan does force it. That's fine. Since James has the Dead Gone in hand, he can actually just bounce it right back. So what James should do is just bolt the DRC right here, and then Gone the Murktide to get in. I believe Spellhold is on TCG Player, but it does have its own site.
Hardcast Chaos Defiler.
Chaos Defiler, no bad name lands required.
Yeah. Well, we did use everyone's favorite Ragavan proxy, Goblin Shaman, to cast that Chaos Defiler.
Yeah, so we appreciate your support, Landon. Yeah, we do have a shop. If you go to spellholdgames.com, there is a selection of singles. We're also part of Collector Legion, which has more singles, and you can buy from either of the websites. Both of them are locally and ethically sourced. So
ethically sourced Magic cards.
Yeah.
No, but sort of speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, would you say that Reflection of Kiki Jiki Chaos Defiler is kind of an Exodia situation?
I mean, I think Double Welder, Chaos Defiler. So clearly I was wrong in saying Chaos Defiler should get the board out because it just came down, won the game on the spot.
Yeah, James did have a lead that game, but Chaos Defiler very efficiently closed the door there.
Yeah. I think the only issue I have against Chaos Defiler is you are not the hardcasting is never the plan.
Have I told you about the time that my Delver opponent tapped 6 lands and meltdowned for 5?
Oh my goodness, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
that's absurd. And it looks like James has a good record of just 3-0ing with other people's decks. And I'm pretty happy that he got a 3-0 with my list. I haven't been able to get 3-0s lately at Spellhold. But I've been doing well in Moto with it, so I was saying, hey, this is a good list. Yeah, I think it clearly still holds up in the paper meta, too.
Yeah. So, 20 minutes left in the round. Should we try and find a backup match?
I think with 20 minutes left,
do we want to see if anyone wants to play round 4?
I'll go around and ask a bit, so I'll be right back. But if not, we could just go to a little break.
Yeah, let's switch to that for the time being. Okay, we're dead. I don't actually have any guys with
Rough row. Well, next time we do commentary, because I'm sure Eugene's going to be like, yes, guys, you need to commentate all the time.
I mean, do you think we're doing well?
Yeah, we're certainly flying. Let's get the next one going.
Yeah. Stream overlay fade. You got it.
All right. Hey guys. No, you muted the wrong thing.
Okay. Yeah, we were live the whole
Yeah.
time.
So we're actually going straight to round 4. Both of our 3-0s wanted to play it out, and they both know what they're playing against. And this is Oops All Spells versus Painter.
Stanley
versus James. And so this is still going to be a pretty quick matchup. So what James... No, don't change it to Turbo Defiler. This is my deck you're talking about over here. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup because Stanley knows he's playing against Painter, and there's no Force of Will, so he's just going to be going as fast as possible. And unironically, this is probably just going to be determined by the die roll for this match.
Force of Will? We've got Force of Will at home.
We got Red Blast.
We got Red Blast and Simeon Spirit Guide.
Yeah, so there's a very small chance of James... Like, James has to win the die roll and have a Soul Guide, like Lance Soul Guide or Ancient Tomb Agatha's Soul Cauldron to win this game. And if he gets that, Stanley loses.
Have we seen a die roll yet?
I wouldn't know the result if they did roll the die roll.
Okay, this is actually super important. Do you want to go ask?
Yeah, I will actually. Or it looks like they're already resolving mulligans.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Also, I should probably reset. I mean, I'm not going to reset the timer because this is technically the round 3 timer. So.
Yeah, it's technically round 3 timer, but I don't think they're gonna. games do get
the-
slower post board, but I don't think I've played an Oops game where it lasted more than 20 minutes. So that's the good news. And they're at their
Yeah,
correct table anyways.
definitely, if you really hate getting draws in paper tournaments, play Oops All Spells.
It looks like James already conceded. Did we see cards get played?
No, I don't.
Maybe he sideboarded. I looked away for a second, and it all like James did this, like put his head in his hands, and it made me think he already conceded.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening.
I don't know what happened. Huh?
Maybe we're just shuffling.
Okay. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, you never want to see Oops like get paired, like lose a die roll and get paired into Oops as the painter player. Like I said, your dog to spell days combo, but you still can win, and it does like. You just have to mulligan a little bit. And also, when, like, sometimes they don't go on turn one. Sometimes they literally, like, mull to 4, and they're like, I can't go turn 1.
Yeah. Sometimes they mold a 4 and they also win on the first.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you have to think of the winnable situations for the game 1.
For sure.
And there are cards that are good enough for the post board.
But
that hand is not good enough. I'll tell you that there.
If you're on the painter side here, you are going down to 3 or 4 cards.
I would just look for Soul Guide or Soul
But
Cauldron.
the things like that's you are willing to go that low in this matchup. I've won on mulligans to 2 and 3 against Oops All Spells before.
I've definitely beat a reanimator player on a mull to 3, and I had Leyline of the Void, and there's a Saga Ancient Tomb. It was the best 3 I could have asked for.
I think I had someone on I don't think it was a big mulligan, but I had someone on Magic Online just kind of do the ... in chat and then immediately concede after I put multiple ley lines into play on turn 0.
That's what you like to hear. But right.
So your graveyard hate of choice at the moment in your sideboard is Fairy Macabre?
I like Fairy Macabre just because it's uncounterable against the deck is geared to beat Rescam.
Yeah.
If I were to beat generic graveyard hate, I think Leyline of the Void's better. Just because
that or unlicensed hearse, right?
So this hand is not going to cut it either. You're going to throw, since both players know the matchup, he's going to throw this back.
Yeah, I mean there are just on not so much on the Oops All Spells side, but definitely on the painter side here, there are a lot of pieces of blank cardboard.
Yes.
To the point where you can't even board all of them out.
Yeah. I mean, since he's a blue build, it's going to make it a little bit better. Your red blasts have a little bit more text, but there's a chance he might just board out his Force of Wills. Oh, it sounds like the 4th round has already started.
Okay, so time to start the timer for that.
Yeah. This is another unkeepable hand. It does not seem like James has an ability to find... He's not skillful enough to find his Soul Guide Lantern, or his 3 of in his deck.
Yeah.
What, past the 4th mulligan, I think it's like somewhere like a 70% chance of drawing into it for 3 of.
Don't make me do this math on the fly.
You know, you actually can do this math on the fly. I'm asking the best person for this.
Just because I'm a year away from getting a PhD in math does not mean I know how to multiply large numbers together quickly.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say, like, does not mean I know how to do math.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
No,
I'm joking.
I mean, it certainly doesn't... There is kind of the running joke that the longer you study pure math, the worse you get at arithmetic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I would just go to 4.
Yeah.
Oh, he's keeping this?
Oh, this is 4.
Is he keeping?
I think this is 4.
This is not good. Yeah, this is just a concession. I would go lower, personally. I don't think you're winning with 3. So
is that a triple Ancient Tomb? No, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Simian Spirit Guide Pyroblast.
So he had a Pact of Negation, so that was his backup. But yeah, it's just like I would have gone lower.
Yeah, it's Jover.
Yeah. He had a Simian Spirit Guide Pyroblast. That's not going to be enough. Yeah, because he's going to have enough for Dread Return. Yeah, unfortunate. There is a very small line you could do. Well, he already has the Pact of Negation in hand, so
Gonna just go real quick and change this to game 2.
yeah. Yeah, couldn't find the Soul Guide. Like, realistically speaking, what this is like a concept in general. So James had the play. Obviously, he was looking for Soul Guide, but he could have went lower.
Mm-hmm.
And sure,
Yeah.
he would have lost to Force Will, but at least he could have played the game. And right now, like, he is not playing the game. He has lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no window for him to blast and get that. So he is getting information, which is valuable. So unfortunately, James probably is not going to have the foresight to bring a Pithy Needle in there. Oh, no, he should be bringing Pithy Needle in the matchup regardless, because there is Undercity Informer. Now, whether or not he'll be able to sniff out the Charbelcher Juke is a whole different story. But, yeah, I don't know. Unfortunate mulligans on James' side. I think, like, I just think you should just go down lower.
Okay, so having just quickly punched in the numbers,
Yeah.
It is each time you draw 7 cards, there is an independent probability. So you're looking for a 3 of,
Yeah.
right? And you're looking for at least 1 copy of it,
Yeah.
right? So I believe it is a 30% chance to not draw it, and every time you draw 7, and those probabilities are independent from each other.
Gotcha.
So if you are going down to 4, so you've seen 4 7-card hands at that point, right?
Yeah.
That would be 0.3 to the 4th power. That's the probability you will have seen none at that point.
Okay.
0.3 to the 4th power being like less than a percent, I think.
Yeah. So you could pretty much chop it up to bad luck, but I don't think another mulligan hurts you.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, especially if you know the matchup, I've had Reanimator players literally concede to just a Soul Guide Lantern on turn 1, just because, like, these decks cannot beat these just main deck hate piece.
Yeah.
Like, actually, they didn't concede the game. They didn't concede the game. They conceded the match because I turned 1 Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah, just...
And ongoing joke with people who are Painter veterans is if you play Painter a lot, you'll have opening Soul Guide every time you need it.
Yeah.
So that's he just needs to play Painter more. That's end all be all. James, just keep playing Painter. You'll eventually get the Soul Guides in hand.
I mean, even 3-1 is an excellent record.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thorns are for sure coming in, right?
Yeah, Thorns are good in this matchup. I mean, so there is a build that I use with Mindbreak Trap, and Mindbreak Trap would also come in this matchup.
Yeah, no, I would always bring in Mindbreak Trap in this matchup.
Yeah, Thorn's good. Fairy Macabre's obvious.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Pithy Needle is good in this matchup, so you have just as many cards as you bring.
I think, you have so many dead cards, I would even consider bringing in Moons in this matchup.
I don't think Moon is that great. So,
wait,
actually,
you're on Blood Moons. I would be more inclined to bring in Magus.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, if I was on Magus, maybe. Yeah, I've definitely brought Magus into the matchup before because it's just like one other piece to slow it down. Blood Moon, not so much. It's not as great, unfortunately. But Thorn asking your opponent to actually, pay mana, the thing they're kind of bad at doing, is a good little stipulation.
Well, I mean,
but it is for non-creature spells.
Oops All Spells is good at making mana. They just struggle to make that first mana.
Yeah. So Stanley could reasonably get through a Thorn because he could go triple Spirit Guide, land, MDFC land, Balustrade Spy, and it doesn't. Well, it does impede the combo. Actually, no, it does impede the combo because then they can't cast what's it called, Dread Return.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, even though there's creatures, still lots of spells. So Thorn still thumbs up. Yep. Yes, sir. So we're gonna see a lot of mulligans go on. So
Again, most important stage of any game against or with Oops All Spells.
yeah, I mean, personally for me, I don't feel that stressed about this matchup. Like,
yeah, no, I mean it's a matchup I think I might have a positive win rate against.
I would agree.
If not even.
Yeah, it's either even or slightly positive. But then again, that's with the Leyline of the Void build. Most of the time I run Leyline of the Void, and it's kind of brain dead because it's just mulligan for Leyline of the Void. They try to answer Leyline of the Void, you kill them.
Yeah, I mean, I've also just run a lot of Mind Break traps, and also just sometimes you win the die roll and you just get your turn 1 lock piece down, and then, you do have to worry about Force of Vigor, but that's why you get the second lock piece
So it looks
down.
like Stanley's keeping. Probably saw Force in like a reasonable hand, but Stanley probably is also going to be going for the Charbelcher.
Mhm.
So
Force definitely also a very rough thing to face from the Turbo Defiler side.
we saw a fairy. So and a Pithy Needle. So we'll see if James decides to Pithy Needle Undercity Informer.
Oh yeah, or Goblin Chart. Does he know about the Charbelchers?
I don't think anyone. So Stanley only comes around once in a while, and I pretty much have it memorized that he is the Storm player, Oops player. But I love this play. He's got the turn 1 Thorn,
and we're taking 3. Are we going to be doing multiple Spirit Guides? We want to play out our LED here. That's
looks like he might be going for the Balustrade.
I think we just want to get our mana rocks down.
Yeah, so it's gonna get under this. It's probably gonna pitch the Narcomoeba.
I could see that. Maybe an Narcomoeba is your blue card though.
He's pitching the Cabal Therapy. Probably he's just saying that's gonna be too expensive. I'm gonna pay 1 for the LED.
I will say very nice pieces of cardboard from Stanley here.
Yeah. Stanley's got good taste.
I mean, very nice pieces of cardboard from James as well. Definitely good taste.
I would say the best. I would say the best taste, if you ask me. So, if James is heads up here, he might just go ahead and Pithy Needle, naming Spy. I mean, I think I wouldn't too. We have not seen any indicator for Charbelcher, and he's currently doing the math on his playmat right now. He's doing the cha-cha-cha. 5 hops this time. 1 foot left stomp. Right foot, left stomp. Freeze. Everybody clap your hands. I don't think they got that last part.
No. So we have a Lava Spur Boots and a Pithing Needle in hand.
Yeah, it's probably just more important to play the Pithing Needle.
There's also a Fairy and a Rad card that looks maybe like it's
Engineer.
It's a Bolt.
Maybe it's a Bolt. Pithing Needle, more than likely naming LED, hopefully not.
I mean, it is a legal play you were allowed
so it
to
is
make.
probably naming Balustrade Spy.
Or Undercity Informer.
Oh, yeah, Undercity.
The one with an activated
Yeah.
ability.
And he might just be putting it out there right now.
Okay,
Second Dark Ritual.
We're up to 4 mana.
4
now.
mana. If he's going for the Spy, he's going to be
Unpleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
so I guess he didn't name that with a Pithy Needle. So this comes. So he will have enough mana to do. So James is going to let him go through.
Yeah.
The combo, and
also going to be able to take a look at how Stanley sideboarded.
Yeah.
Very, very importantly.
Yeah. So we'll see what Stanley decides to do here. So. We know Stanley doesn't have a Force of Will in hand.
And not that Force of Will would save you against a Fairy Macabre.
Yeah.
I think the only way that this deck might have about... Oh, we see the Charbelcher.
Yeah, James has taken a mental note. There's a Force of Vigors. So this does seem like it's built like a normal Oops deck, but I wonder why we saw a Brainstorm. There's a Force of Will. Is a Force of Will only a... So interesting. So James should be looking for the Memories Journey at this point. Oh, it doesn't look like there's a Memories Journey in there. So what James can do in this spot is wait for the Dread Return to hit the stack and for him to select a target, and Fairy Macabre And yep,
And
Stanley
yeah.
scoops it up. That's just Magic the Gathering, baby. No life totals necessary.
No, I mean, I also just love the fact that you have to just keep your composure while they go through it,
Yeah.
through the motions, and that's like, okay, now I have responses.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
I mean, like,
on-
Stanley, you can assume if your opponent isn't just scooping everything
Yeah.
up that they have something.
on Magic Online, it's even funnier when your opponent is playing Cephaloid Breakfast because, of course they ask for responses every time they
Yes.
mill 3 cards.
It's very annoying. But, like, you can essentially assume that your opponent has something to do. Fun fact, like, with different builds of Breakfast, sometimes they incidentally run other artifacts besides Shuko. If you're playing deck that runs Goblin Welder, mid Cephalid Breakfast combo, you could weld out their Shuko if there's another different artifact.
Yeah, it could even be another Shuko. Not
Yeah.
that would do much,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Hey, really showed that. I've definitely welded out a Shuko for a Cauldron. I'm like, I'd rather die from this. And I'm like, sure, put the Cauldron into play. I'll survive.
I one time, because of, I think, the sequence in which cards got milled, they were gonna therapy my answer away, so they didn't mill their whole deck ultimately, and then
really?
and then I died to Narcomoeba Beats.
Oh no.
So it's like
It is real.
I-
Narcomoeba beats are real, and they can hurt you.
Yeah, it's like I had to go with their therapy on the stack. This is before they milled everything. I had to go for their Oracle, so then they just didn't mill themselves and just started putting their Shukos on their Narcomoebas.
Did you have like you couldn't just let them keep milling out?
Well, they would have therapied my answer to Dread Return.
Oh, so they had the therapy
so-
on the stack, and you
Yeah.
either surgical or fairy macabre.
Yeah. Mid combo, they had the
Cabal.
Yeah. Mid combo, they had the Cabal therapy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you have to go for it if that's the case. But the good news is you don't die to the combo. The bad news is you still have to play the game.
The bad news is that you die to a pile of 1/1s.
I mean, I'd be killing people with 1/1s. Like, that's nothing to scoff at. So let's see. Oh, there's a fairy. This seems like a reasonable hand, but I don't see a land.
Yeah, do we have mana is the kind of the
I don't know.
important question.
Oh, there, I saw a mountain. Yep, we're good.
Snapcape.
Yep, we're good.
Now, if we're on Stanley's side, we're probably looking for a discard spell into combo on the first turn. That's the most
Stanley
ideal.
just saw like 3 different hate pieces. Thorn, Pithing Needle,
Fairy Macabre.
and Fairy Macabre. So I don't know what hand you're looking for. If most of the times, you know what the Oops player just does? They just keep whatever hand they get if it combos. And he's going for the mulligan.
I mean, a lot on the line this game.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. If it would be really funny if then James had the ley line of the void on top of that, which is something I've seen people do, like 4 ley lines and then 2 fairy macabres on top of that. I just think that's personally like when we're running 2 main deck graveyard hate pieces. That's not something we want to do.
There was a while ago where I was initially running 4 ley lines, and I cut some number of them for unlicensed hearses, and then there was just randomly 1 ley line left in my sideboard, and I just rolled with it.
I feel like Stanley's going down. This is what you want to see. Like,
yeah.
Like, you want to see your opponent go low for game 3.
Obviously, we are all in favor of good sportsmanship here, but you are kind of silently pumping the fist when...
I'm not silently. I'm not there. James is literally the underdog here.
Yeah.
As someone who plays a mean deck and also an underdog deck at the same time, you have to root for James.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I am interested in, all in, really degenerate graveyard strategies, and I think those are cool. But the thing is, doesn't matter if you think it's cool. You're rooting for the little guy here. And the little guy's Goblin Welder. That's who.
He's just a little guy.
He's literally just a little guy. He dies to a Bowmaster who's just so mean. Just so cruel.
Dies to Plague Engineer of all things.
Yeah, I mean, playing Plague Engineer in 2024. What are you boarding that in for? Okay, so Stanley looks like he's going to keep his 5.
Looks like we're gonna be checking our Discord messages.
Yeah, gotta be gaming. So maybe Stanley's looking for a Charbelcher kill.
Yeah, this could very well happen.
That's indicator of a Charbelcher kill.
Okay. We have a Summoner's Pact, so
is he gonna crack LED in response?
Do or die this turn.
Oh,
why would you crack LED in response to the Pact?
Because you're getting Spy.
But what are we? Oh, well, no. It only gets green creatures.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
Yeah. So it's just effectively another.
Oh,
way
so
to
he
get
is
all
just
their
going for
spirit
the.
guides.
Oh, okay. So he is just going for it, and James is gonna take the match. Let's go.
Oh,
let's go!
Let's go!
That's sick. Hell yeah! And that's why Painter's a sick deck.
So, the next time we see you all for Tuesday Night Legacy, Modern Horizons 3 will be out on the shelves.
Yeah. So sorry for the if you go back and listen to this, Stanley. Great game. Honestly, great games, but it's just like that's just the nature of the deck.
Yeah.
I think Stanley knows this too. It's like, but man, yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get one more match on the record right now, just because I think we should have enough time. But if not, no worries. Let's just see if we can get a bonus match going.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
y'all, we're back. We got a fifth round going. So buckle up, fasten your seatbelts, because we're going to back to McCarty special. And I believe he's playing a different deck. It looks like it.
Looks like we have some Dark Rituals in there.
It's like we got some Buried Alive, new to
some
modern.
Force of Wills.
Yeah, you know Steven, like now that he has access to all these cards, he's trying to play something interesting. And John, we didn't get a chance to see John's list, but we could just name Steven's Buried Alive or Phoenix,
sure.
or just say
Yeah.
Phoenix. John, yeah, but no, just name Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah, let's keep it. There we go. But John has been known to play this cool blue-green beans depths.
Yeah.
Build that uses beans to get value off of cards like Force of Will and Submerge. John's also playing the new Sloth creature from Fallout.
Lumbering Mega Sloth.
Yes,
or something like
that reduces its cost, its generic mana cost, for how many counters
are on permanents you control.
Are on permanents. Both players control, I think.
Oh, okay.
But so John, the combo is you play Yavimaya turn 1, and you play a Dark Depths turn 2, and then you play a Lumbering Mega Sloth since Dark Depths enters with 10 counters on it. So that counts, and then you get a tapped 8/8 Trampler on turn 2, and that could also trigger beans.
So, I don't know, two mana 8/8s.
Oh, but we are seeing a Plains.
Yeah, that is that also a prismatic ending?
I see a Brainstorm. It looks like there's
like
also
a band of some kind.
The what's it called? The
Delighted Halfling.
Delighted Halfling. Yeah. So,
love being able to recognize.
prismatic ending too. Yeah.
Yeah, love being able to recognize what card it is just based on like half of the corner or whatever.
Yeah, I mean like AI is probably going to beat us on that regard someday. Like Scryfall AI is going to get so good that we're not like us simpletons will not be able to keep up with it. But yeah, we certainly play a lot of Magic. That's for sure.
Flooded Strand into.
Oh, it is a Yorion build. So
okay.
Let's just change it to 4-color. Let's just say Bant Control.
I thought I saw. I saw a Bayou in there, so I'm just gonna call it 4C.
4C Control,
or like 4C Zenith.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate.
Yeah, I mean, was it prior to the release of, I want to say, Lord of the Rings, wasn't 5-color Zenith a really big archetype in
It
Legacy?
wasn't 5-color, I believe.
Or just like blue-based Zenith?
Yeah, it was Hot Bant, but everything but the black spells. But
I was thinking more of just like the Bant control decks that played like Natural Order for Atraxa.
Yeah, so that was one of my favorite control. I think that's probably my favorite control deck ever. I remember seeing it. I'm like, this is just really good, because you're playing all these incidental cards that give you 2-for-1s, like the Ice Fang Waddles and birds, and Ice Fang Waddles, and then you're also playing Zenith, which just allows you to tutor out your whole deck, and then your top end, and you have to kill everything, because otherwise the top end is I get Atraxa.
Yeah, and also just, I don't know, playing kind of. I've never really had the chance to play the card myself in Legacy, but kind of on paper, one of my favorite cards, Endurance, is just it is one of the most solid cards in Legacy.
Just
right?
A good body.
Yeah,
like you rarely want to pitch
flash.
it. You rarely want to pitch it because it's such a good body.
It blocks DRC.
It blocks DR. It could just get it could get a 2-for-1 just off the graveyard hate, and then sometimes turn that into 3-for-1 because of the block.
As a painter player, like flashing an Endurance during combat gets me more often than I care to admit.
Yeah, because you sack something for the engineer, and then they Endurance in response. Yeah. That gives them a suit of 2-for-1.
The 4 toughness means it also trades with Fury.
Oh, we're seeing some of these beautiful beta lands.
Yeah, so love letter to Endurance aside, we have a Dark Ritual here from Steven.
Oh,
he said we're taking it back.
Taking back to?
Once Upon a Time
yes,
first.
Once Upon a Time, that card comes first. So let's look at some cards.
Sequencing, a very important part of Magic the Gathering.
Steven's realizing, it can only get creatures and lands. So
I'll get a Putrid
A
Imp.
Putrid Imp will be good enough.
Pimpin' ain't easy.
Yeah, not for sure. So that's spell number 1 for all you gamers at home. And now we'll be
Dark
seeing the
Ritual?
Dark Ritual.
And do we have the Buried Alive?
And can we get a Cowabunga if this resolves? Yeah, Steven's
Steven
happy.
looking up at the camera.
Steven's happy
Oh, that's a
about it.
reanimate.
Do we not have a Buried Alive in hand? Oh, did Steven's like, you've been got? Oh, Steven just doesn't have the Buried Alive. Steven...
That line is interesting, then.
I think what's happening is John does not know what's happening for good reason, because Steven's just about to reanimate a...
Are we
Elvish
reanimating an Elvish Spirit Guide?
Oh, you can't make this stuff up.
I mean, it's 10:40, so
I guess what Steven was hoping for was to get a Force of Will out of the Dark Ritual.
yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Which
This-
did we see Force of Will?
This
from
is
John?
like the old Reanimator plan. It's like, do you just play a show and tell and not have a good target for it
Yeah, I think who is it?
to just juke him out?
What well-known Ad Nauseam Tendrils player Cyrus Corman Gill
Yeah.
has like more just Dark Ritual goes than he cares to admit.
Yeah. I've definitely had like flooded when I played 4-color Reanimator with like essentially Rakdos with a white splash and a blue splash that jukes into show and tell. There was a time where I had with show and tell flooded, and I'm just like, I'm playing against control, so maybe they'll just start countering these. So I just cast one show and tell. It's like it gets countered. I'm like, thank God. I cast a second show and tell, hoping it gets countered again. The only payoff I have is a grief. So I'm like, okay, whatever. If it does resolve, great. If it doesn't resolve, that's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting something out of it regardless, and just managed to eventually draw into beat out the interaction and draw into the fatty to show and tell in. But sometimes that just works. But not this time. It looks like Steven's out of gas. Oh no. It's not what you... John has...
I think we're maybe just knocking the top of our deck and hoping for a break. Wait, was that a Buried Alive in hand now?
Yes,
Oh,
that is a Buried
no.
Alive in hand. That's not the card you would like to see.
That's not the card you would like to see after spending all of those resources.
I believe Andrews pointed out. Oh, what? He's got a Ponder in the yard too? When did that get there?
I think that's where he found the Buried Alive.
Gotcha.
Oh, and yeah, the Spirit Guide got endinged.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, and they're everyone's favorite 1/1 insect off of
Yeah.
the Green Sun Zenith.
well, I think the original Gris is probably still better than the new Gris.
100%.
But it's like, both are really good. Gris is
Yeah.
making a name for herself.
For sure. I will say the thing with the flip planeswalkers is that you are able to use creature removal on them before they flip.
Yeah, that's true. But being 1 mana is very competitive. Oh, hey, Phoenix. Wait. Oh, I guess the Spirit Guide never died.
We're hard casting a bird. Oh, it was tapped and attacking. That's what it was.
Always believe. Is he going to go after the Gris or is he going face? Gris
We're-
gone.
Gris down.
Wait.
Oh, we're gonna. Yes. It might have wings, but notably, Elvish Spirit Guide does not have flying.
Yeah.
Very common misconception here.
Yeah, you would hope. Honestly, why doesn't it have flying? I know it's from Alliance, so that probably is the only reason why.
I
Cards
know.
had to be understated.
Maybe it would be too good if it was a 2/2 flyer.
I mean, think about actually, if it was a 2/2 flyer, well, first off, they were still using the color pie back when Alliance got printed. So flying, unless it's Birds of Paradise, is a no-no.
Yeah, or I guess a dragon, although I guess they weren't really printing dragons in green back then.
Yeah, the only thing that got printed in green was the Hydra, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's their quintessential. It's green cards get trample, blue cards get flying, red cards get haste, black cards get life.
Fever?
No, black cards get death touch, and white cards get lifelink.
Well,
essentially.
now Death Touch is actually more of a green keyword, isn't it?
Is it now? I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's still like black is the primary card that gets Death Touch, and then green is the secondary.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the tertiary is like, I don't know if there's a tertiary,
No.
a Death Toucher. Get touched.
Every time we touch.
I get the feeling.
Okay, like we mentioned, now we're gonna be playing an endurance.
Nice to see that in the main board.
Nice to see abundant growth in the Yorion.
Steven's
deck as well.
devastated. Just all of his cards just toppled onto the playmat. You didn't even get a blowout. It's just he's not getting through that endurance.
3-2 meet 3-4 reach.
Cowabunga. Is that the scoop or no? It's scooping all the goodies back.
And then Phoenix goes to the graveyard.
Well, the thing, good news is Phoenix can always come back at a
Yeah.
later time.
Definitely not the format currently being terrorized by Arclight Phoenix.
No.
Admittedly, the format in which that card is really good, it's also being supported by a card that is currently banned in
Yeah, you kind of have to
Legacy.
have some more busted cards.
Yeah.
It's not that the Phoenix is busted. Oh, we're just putting Atrax into play. Yeah.
Wait, this
Yeah,
is a
he has the
hard cast?
mana.
Yeah, 7 mana.
Yeah.
Exodia moment.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's just a good old fashioned magic right there.
Do you remember what the keywords are in Atraxa?
Flying, Death Touch, Vigilance,
Lifelink?
Lifelink,
Yeah.
and then the top 10. Top 10 best hits.
Yeah, no, it's
One of
right,
each
the-
individual card type.
Flying is from blue,
Yeah.
right? Vigilance is from white, or
Yeah, Vigilance. Well,
Lifelink
White-
is from
so
black
Weiss-
and Death Touch is from green.
you could say the Vigilance is from green, and the white is for Lifelink, and the black is for Death Touch. That probably makes more sense, yeah.
Oh no, the white for Vigilance makes more sense to me.
I
but-
guess, well, both...
and then black Lifelink, green.
Yeah, well, Lifelink's also tertiary, well, secondary for black.
Yeah.
But it is primary for...
But,
I think,
but I mean the
I think Vigilance is more of a green color pie card.
Oh no, I just think of night tokens that have vigilance, or
Color-
like the samurai from Wandering Emperor.
Well, we all know the color pie is fake, so
Yeah,
it's a figment of our imaginations. And right now, John is currently dominating the board with his cards.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a lot more cards than you, Stephen. That is what John's saying.
Just all the way over on Steven's side of the table. Just the encroachment strategy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's John is taking the approach of real estate denial right now.
It's free real estate.
He does not shuffle that in, notably. It is put to the bottom.
Yes, and now we're shuffling.
Yep. I will tell a judge. John will get disqualified,
In this,
disowned, and dishonored. And no, did he mill?
Oh yes, we milled a Moloch.
Okay.
So this is 5 color Zenith.
Okay. Well, the Moloch might not be castable. We see the black, but we have not seen the Volk.
Or the Taiga, but we have seen abundant growth in the deck.
Yeah, so that might not actually be. There might not actually be a true red source.
True. I mean, not much else in red necessarily worth running in this deck.
This
right?
deck really seems like like, hey, I know Bowmasters is a card and it'll kick my ass, but we're trying to mitigate that. Buried Alive?
Just au naturel.
Steven says Buried Alive opponent?
You know, good news is that Buried Alive is a spell that puts 3 Arclight Phoenixes in your graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, there isn't a spell that casts 3 spells for you.
No. They really should just say this card casts... we put an Anger.
Oh!
Wait, did he just put 4 cards in?
I think he just put 4 cards in the graveyard. Try to cheat that Anger.
Oh, let me put the 4th card in the graveyard. Come on, buddy. That was really funny. And let's see how this goes. I think John's in the winning position. There's not really much to say.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, this is if you are a sports fan the slightest, this is what's often known as garbage time, right?
I think garbage time is more accurately defined when both players aren't doing anything. But the sports connotation might just be garbage time, as in this garbage for, like, it's time that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's bad viewing because one team is overwhelmingly in the lead.
Yeah.
And teams will typically put in their
B players.
Yeah, their B players just to preserve.
Reduce chance of injury and stuff like that. But
sports.
I like the term garbage time in the sense that this is stupid. We're both in the dumpster and like we're pigs just rolling around in our own mud.
You one of you mulligans to 4 and the other person mulligans to 5.
The other one has a no-lander.
Yeah.
Thank you for well, you're seeing what's going on over here, Andrew. Do you want to hop in the mic real quick, or
are you trying to leave?
Oh yeah, they're closing in like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
true.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here.
Okay. Oh, it looks like they're packing up too. Well,
yeah.
Hey, anyways.
They're just gonna do one game.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna do one more game.
No.
No.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay, so how do we end the stream?
Okay, so.
Anyways, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate all you watching it, and all those watching the VOD later today. Like, hope you had a good time watching it.
Eugene, I hope we did a good job.
Thank you, Eugene, for giving us this opportunity. Yes, of course. Yeah, we actually got someone who was interested in buying on the website.
Yeah, on TCG
Yeah.
Player, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Landon. We appreciate it.